Right on the guys over there by Tire Life.
Call Parks Auction and Realty or visit parksauction.com.
You've heard people say, you know your work by your name. There's no better name for residential and business concrete work than Dan France Concrete. From basic slabs to decorative stamping, for your next concrete project, call Dan France Concrete, 615-642-5152.
This is Dan with Dan France Concrete, wishing all Rutherford County student athletes a great season. Study hard, play harder, and be safe.
Trust me, Dan is committed to the community. Offer you a great product. Stand behind his work. Make sure you're satisfied with every aspect of the work. Dan France Concrete.
This is Primetime Sports, WGNS, Murfreesboro, Smyrna, 1019, 100.5, AM 1450, WGNSsports.com, Big GTV, streaming video, and always at the game. The game. It's where you've had breakfast with the coaches for decades. It's the Prentice Alsop Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's. We'll sit down with the coaches to talk about their most recent games and the matchups ahead. Now, from WGNS and Big GTV, it's the Prentice Alsop Heating and Air Coaches Corner.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome in to the last Saturday in September. Prentice Alsop Heating and Air Coaches Corner on the air. We've got one from McDonald's Murfreesboro and, of course, the donuts from Donut Country, and ready to go here with almost 3 hours of coaches' conversation after week 6 of high school football. So we have moved on into the second half of the season, getting toward our fall break, not this coming week, but the week after. So we've got a lot of Thursday games coming up this next week, so we're going to talk all about that this morning. And first on your Jennings and Ayers Funeral Home scoreboard from Thursday night, it was PCA a winner, 38-15 over Franklin County. Nate Lamb, 19 of 27 passing, 157 yards and 2 touchdowns in the win, making Nate the TOA highlight here this morning. Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance, the largest and most comprehensive orthopedic surgery group in Middle Tennessee. Find out more at TOA.com. So congrats to Nate, congrats to PCA on the victory. That was the only Thursday game this week. Our broadcast game last night was the Oakland Patriots downing Blackman 32-0. 7-0 Oakland at the half, a strong second half. Of course, that's kind of Oakland's MO. And shut out the Blackman Blaze. And we're going to find out a lot more about that game, of course, from Coach Creasy, and went on the road to the home of the Blackman Blaze. Had a great night out of several, including our SRM Concrete Solid performer Dante Cameron. 12 carries, 163 yards, and a touchdown, and was 3 for 3 for 37 yards passing last night. He has a completion rate that's in the 80s. It's probably even higher than that now, with going 3 for 3 last night, making him our SRM Concrete Solid performer, a player who delivered steady effort for their team last night. SRM, locally grown, nationally known, SRM Concrete. So Oakland moves on to 6-0 and plays Rockvale next week at the home place. Other scores from last night: Rockvale 21, Siegel 14. Siegel had the ball, trying to get a tying touchdown, and that falls short at Rockvale. Stewart's Creek blanks Laverne 35-0. It was Riverdale 41, Columbia 7. Smyrna 40, Coffee County 7 last night in their homecoming. It was Riverdale homecoming too. Richland defeats Eagleville 37-7. MTCS goes on the road to Johnson City and plays Providence Academy and gets the 28-21 victory. And that is your scoreboard. So what is ahead for our teams? The games we'll be talking about, our broadcast Thursday game. We've got 2 this week, Thursday, Friday. Stewart's Creek will host Blackman on Thursday. So we'll be there right after Primetime Sports, about 6:45, 6:50, with our pregame from Stewart's Creek Blackman. And that's at the Creek, by the way. Oakland will take on Rockvale. It's Riverdale versus Smyrna. Siegel will host Clarksville. Laverne will host Kirkwood. And MTCS travels to Clay County on Thursday night. Next Friday, we take our microphones to Eagleville. And Eagleville, Moore County, big region matchup there On Friday, October 3rd, PCA is at home versus Community Christian. So that's the slate of games for next week. And our coaches' conversation will go down like this. Riverdale first up at mere moments with John Dinkins. Smyrna will follow at 9:15, 9:30 Blackman. Then I'll come in for Laverne, Oakland, Stewart's Creek, Rockvale. Danny will wrap us up with Eagleville and MTCS Cougar Corner around 11:15. So let's get at it. Coach's conversation here on a Saturday morning. Glad you're along with us. Stay for the ride. Hey, Rutherford County sports fans, from auto, home, renters, business insurance, and more, trust your local State Farm agents. Celeste Middleton, Ron Reeves, Emerson Williams, Alex Williams, Dana Womack, and Andy Womack. This powerful team lives here, works here, and are your neighbors. They're ready to help you manage everyday risk, recover from the unexpected, and realize your dreams. Contact Celeste, Ron, Emerson, Alex, Dana, or Andy for all of your insurance needs. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Game day is coming, and are you ready to represent the Blue Raiders? At Raider Tees, we've got the largest selection of officially licensed Middle Tennessee gear in town. T-shirts, hoodies, hats, even tailgating essentials. You name it, we've got it. No more searching through random stores. Everything you need is right here at 111 East MTCS Road, right across from MTCS. Get game day ready at Raider Tees. Bigger, better, and go blue.
Pizza.
You can now order Murfreesboro's favorite pizza online at sirpizzatn.com. We've made ordering online a breeze. From sirpizzatn.com, tap on the location nearest you and begin your order for carryout or delivery. You can order the Royal Feast, create your own, spaghetti, calzones, everything right from our online portal at sirpizzatn.com.
Sir Pizza, you made me love pizza again.
Rely on the experienced professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air.
If your old unit needs a tune-up, the professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air service all major brands and even offer same-day service in most cases. Keep your home or business comfortable year-round. Call us today at 615-890-1311. Prentice Allsup Heating and Air, your Ring Pro partner heating and cooling contractor on West College Street, just under the Thompson Lane overpass. Online at PrenticeAllsup.com.
Craig's Tax Service.
We perform tax preparation, individual tax returns, corporations, partnerships, and all your payroll bookkeeping needs.
Brandon Craig with Craig's Tax Service.
We fulfill all your tax preparation needs, from individual returns to corporations, and handle any of those scary letters you may get from the IRS.
Craig's Tax Service at 142 Heritage Park Drive. Call 890-2233 for an appointment.
We're proud to support all Rutherford County athletes.
Craig's Tax Service, 890-2233.
Need high-quality printing that makes an impact? Look no further than Franklin's Printworks.
We do have a significant presence in Rutherford County as far as print capabilities, booklets, brochures, direct mail, all the time, every day.
That's Jeff Carlton at Franklin's Printworks.
There are a lot of things we do that people don't know about, like large format stuff, banners, blueprints.
Franklin's Printworks delivers precision, professionalism, and unbeatable customer service. Visit printworkstn.com.
It's the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coach's Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's on 101.9, 100.5, 1450, wgnssports.com, and Big G TV.
And this portion of the Coach's Show is brought to you by Ideas Tees, who will be happy to help you fulfill all of your imprinted apparel, embroidery, and advertising specialty needs. Find out more at ideastees.com. John Dinkins here with you, and we have Will Kreisky, the head coach of the Riverdale Warriors. Big winners last night, 41-7. Before we get into all of that, though, I got to brag. I went by Riverdale, I guess it was a couple of days ago, and I had my doubts about how beautiful that campus was going to look. But it absolutely, everything finished, I guess, pretty much to the point.
Yes.
It's absolutely stunning how beautiful it is.
It's unbelievable. They did a great job with it, and, you know, it's something to brag about, and, you know, it feels good. You know, the Riverdale communities feels good about what they have. You know, the facilities and the school and everything's just unbelievable.
You got to be proud. And then, of course, you go to the football field and the turf and everything and the scoreboards, all of that. Just things are rocking and rolling right now at Riverdale, and I think Oakland's got theirs finished or close to it, so they're fixing to have an open house for them. But congratulations on that, Will.
Appreciate it.
41-7. A little scary at the beginning. They scored a quick touchdown, but you guys had a great offensive night, and then the defense just shut them out the rest of the way.
It started off a little. It did start off a little scary, and you as a coach, you wonder about homecoming and all that. We had all that, but it was nothing distraction or anything. They have some athletes, and I said that last week that Columbia had athletes, and the quarterback scrambled around. He rolled to the right, rolled to the left, rolled to the middle, and then all of a sudden dumped it to a receiver that was wide open, and he took off and scored. And I was really impressed with their quarterback. He's very mobile, athletic, kind of like the Father Ryan, Laverne quarterback, can run around, and if you don't wrap up, he'll make you pay for it. And he did a good job with that. But then again, our guys settled down and started playing Riverdale defense, and they played really well the rest of the game. And like you said, the offense did good. I think Gavin was like 16 for 23 for 373 yards.
He's getting comfortable, isn't he?
So he's getting better. Just and I said at the beginning of the year, he needed the reps. And every game you can slowly see him improving, the reps, the time that he spends with Coach Barnes outside of practice, in the mornings and things like that, just to make sure he's prepared for each and every game.
Early in the year, people go, well, got a loss and that kind of thing. But you didn't play. I mean, your schedule was really tough at the beginning, and but you wanted it to be that way because you knew it was going to happen down the road. We're gonna face some really tough teams.
Yeah, and you learned that as a coach, man. You want to play those tough teams and see where you're at. And I knew that the Knox Catholic game would help us get better. And it did. It helped us improve a lot. And unfortunately, we lost LeBron Shelburne that game. But then we started moving pieces around and figuring things out. And it really helped us with the speed of the game and what we're seeing each and every week.
Well, Gavin Hampton is our SRM concrete solid performer. 4 touchdown passes, 87, 65, 59, and 39 yards in the win, and over Columbia. Had a running clock toward the end of the game. It's just amazing how much everything kind of been being put together. It's a game too, being homecoming, and I can remember those Riverdale days and when my sister was there and the pep rallies and oh my Lord,
it's a big ordeal,
that's got to be
man.
Distracting. I mean, a little, but
Yeah.
How do you handle that as a coach? Because I know a lot of people do it different ways.
Yeah, you at the end of the day, you do want the kids to still be high school kids and enjoy some of the events. But like yesterday, we had a big pig out during lunch, and we went to the auditorium. First, we ate together as a team, ate some pizza, and then we went to the auditorium, watched a movie, and then we came back and did a walkthrough. Did our walkthroughs, and then went to the pep rally for a little bit. Then after the pep rally, we did our normal routine for a game day. So it wasn't too chaotic. It was actually really smooth and peaceful. And I mean, I was really impressed with just not only how our kids handled it, but the whole student body. I think this week was one of the smoothest homecomings we had in a while. We got Miss Proctor, Mr. Rainey. They take over. They do an unbelievable job. And what's the most impressive is how many teachers really get involved with homecoming at Riverdale, and it makes it just a wonderful place, a wonderful week. And I mean, everybody was involved with the dress-up days and the activities that we do throughout the week. So it was a really good week.
I've heard some schools, not in this county necessarily, but other schools have picked up on how Riverdale does a homecoming week. I mean, that's kind of complimentary, I would think.
Yeah, it is, and like I said, just with the whole student body and teachers and faculty that all get involved, administrators, and it's really impressive. And as you sit there and watch it and kind of reflect on what happened this past week, I don't know if anybody else does it the way Riverdale does it, and the school spirit they have. And I had somebody come to me last night and just gave me a hug and said, I can't believe how nice this place is, and how much y'all do and what y'all do. And this place is really a community feel. Like, we've never had this before, this community type feel, and I appreciate what y'all bring to us. And that's just from the tradition, from Riverdale, from the past to the Riverdale to now, and how Miss Blair's been able to uphold the standards and the traditions and everything that's from the past. And it really, as being a big school in a big city, we do have a community feel.
I wanted to talk about a couple of players here today and kind of go a little in depth with Corbin Reynolds. Let's talk about him just a second. Had 2 touchdown receptions, 87-39. He's young,
but he's talented.
Yeah, Corbin's done a good job for us. You know, he came to us this summer, and he's just a quiet kid that works hard. You know, his basketball coach at Loretta, you know, we talked quite a bit, and you know, he said when Corbin was his point guard for him for the last 3 years, they only lost 10 total games. He said, Coach, he's just an unbelievable leader. He said, now he's not going to talk much. He said, but he just leads by actions. That's what he does. He's quiet. Kids in the locker room love him, gravitate to him, and you know, they pick on him to have fun. But again, he just goes out and works.
He's the kind of player you just love to have, isn't it? I mean, there no problems, just good, hard, steady work. I mean,
yes. I mean, you can hardly get him to laugh, crack, smile, but he's just great kid.
Miles Weaver, another person we want to mention a little bit, had 2 field goals, 5 extra points, and he's been pretty steady for you guys. I mean, he's been, you know, it hasn't always been a field goal heaven down at Riverdale at times. I know you've been through some of that. But he's been pretty steady for you.
Yeah, Miles did a great job. You know, Jake Rowland was able to get the first field goal down. It kind of, the snap was kind of a little messed up. But the Cooper Dees does a phenomenal job snapping the ball. But there was just kind of almost was going to be a debacle, and Jake was able to get it on, and Miles didn't get his full steps in, but was still able to hit that first field goal. It's pretty impressive, just their operation, what they've been able to do all year.
We're talking to Will Kreisky, the head coach of Riverdale, and I wanted to mention a little bit about the defense before we go this morning. It's been that way for quite a while under your regime, and
we want to be physical, and that's what I want them to know for. You know, I played high school football, and one of my mentors was Donnie Webb, and you know, they call Donnie Webb the Dr. D of Tennessee. You know, Donnie's done a great job with any defense he's ever had, and that's what we kind of implemented. And Coach Rail does a phenomenal job. He's I can't say enough about what he does and the schemes he puts in and the time he puts in with those kids and how they believe. You know, he hates team scoring. You know, and when you got a coordinator that
pride,
that has that pride in what he does and his work, and the kids buy into it, and they're still upset that they scored 7 last night. So that was big. And Jaron Hollins, you know, a kid that's grown up in our program that had some difficult years early on in the program, and you didn't know if this kid was going to make it through football. And what Jaron has done for our program and the leader and the change he's done, not only for football but just in the classroom and the school, it's just unbelievable. And I'm so proud of that young man and what he's done, and just the leader he's been, and the senior, and the way he's acting. And you know, he had a great night last night, and Nate Nathaniel Underwood also played extremely well, and he's another kid that, you know, just bided his time, and now he gets every rep on defense. And I've been really impressed with those guys.
How important is it, Will, to have your coaching staff intact? I mean, that makes a lot of difference, doesn't it? The guys have been together. You've gotten together for a while now. You know each other. You know each other's strengths and I guess weaknesses as well. But working together as a team in the coaching staff.
Yeah, you know, I'm very blessed with the group of guys we have, and you know, a lot of them's been there with me for a while, and then 5 of them played for me since 2016. So
are you that old? Wow.
Yeah, I am that old.
Geez. I didn't know that. I didn't realize that.
So, you know, I got 5 former players, and when you got 5 former players that understand what you do, they implement the same things that they were taught in high school. And so it's been a real blessing to have those guys on staff and have those guys around. And then it's also just, as a coach, just to see those guys work with young men. And it's just,
is that not one of the greatest things about your job? I mean, seeing those guys become men and actually work under you as well.
Yeah, and just watch what they do to kids and they invest the same what you taught them and preached to them growing up. They're invested in pouring into the kids the way we poured in them, and that's awesome. I love watching them work. I love watching them communicate with kids and just interact, man. And I'm very blessed.
Well, I hate to bring it up, but we got to go on and move on to the next round here. And you're going to be hosting Smyrna Friday night, and probably glad it's a home game because Smyrna has found their niche, whatever.
Yeah, Smyrna's got the ball rolling, and they put up 40 the last 2 weeks, and their quarterback's playing really well right now, and their offense is clicking on all cylinders. So we got to, and it's a short week, you know, so we got to get to work soon. As soon as we get out of here, we got to go get to work, get ready, because we're already a day behind. But you know, they're also in the same boat we are. So, you know, and Coach Williams does a phenomenal job. I've known him for years. And, you know, he's going to have those guys ready, and they're always up and ready to play Riverdale.
And he is similar to you philosophy-wise. You know, hit hard, play good defense. I mean, it's there.
Yeah. It's we both want to be physical and fly around and give effort, and that's what he preaches also there, and discipline and all the little things we preach. He preaches the same things.
Will Krosky's been our guest here, and we'll just be sure to get you about an hour or two nap and get ready to go. Get going again.
Yeah, it's hard to get a nap with those 3 kids.
Yeah,
at home.
you better play. You better play with them a little bit, I guess. That's Will Krosky, the head coach of the Riverdale Warriors, and it's been brought to you by Dan France Concrete, a licensed and injured residential and commercial concrete construction contractor serving Middle Tennessee. That's Dan France Concrete. We'll be back with Smyrna.
Winners Trophies can help you with customized awards for any occasion. Owner Kelly Hockenberry continues to provide awards for sports teams, churches, recognition awards, and more. Call Winners Trophies at 904-6002. That's 904-6002 for the best in quality, service, and pricing. You can also email Kelly, winnerstrophy@comcast.net. That's winnerstrophy@comcast.net. Any award for any occasion. Winners Trophies, 904-6002.
We're at Rick's Barbecue on Warrior Drive, talking with Anne-Marie Brents.
When people walk in and they're like, tell me what's good, I usually tell them the loaded baked potato, which is a fully loaded potato with the butter, sour cream, cheese, bacon, and chives, and then we put meat on top of it.
At Rick's, they use the largest potatoes you can find.
Every Tuesday, we run a special on the loaded potatoes. We call it Tater Tuesday, and we sell a lot of potatoes.
Barbecue, smoked chicken, ribs, they've got it all at Rick's Barbecue, 212 Warrior Drive, and online at ricksbbq.com.
Turn to Turner Security.
Hey, it's Brian, and we've relied on Turner Security for systems here at WGNS and Big GTV for many years. Their advanced security solutions with real-time monitoring and automation keep us safe. Plus, their expert IT service ensures our tech runs smoothly, from networks, computers, to troubleshooting. Their team tailors solutions to our needs, and I highly recommend them for home or business solutions for you.
Turn to Turner Security.
At First National Bank of Middle Tennessee, we believe in making a difference in everything we do. From helping local businesses grow to guiding families towards financial stability, we are improving lives one customer at a time. Hi, I'm John Allen, Vice President and Commercial Banker.
First National Bank of Middle Tennessee. We show up for you.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 401715.
First National Bank of Middle Tennessee. Online at fnbmt.com.
Dr. Russell McKissick of Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance talks about the grassroots effort in our local schools to ensure proper care for players.
To make sure our teams are covered here locally, be there for our trainers. Yeah, it's a passion that we have to try to take care of our athletes here in town and be there just to keep everybody playing as healthy and as best they can.
From a community standpoint, one of the most important things you do at TOA, I'd guess.
I think it's definitely a way to pay back to our community, just to be there for them and watch some great sports too.
Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance, TOA, live your best life.
How about a fix for your sweet tooth? Donut Country is open 24 hours a day to cure your cravings. They've been serving up the freshest donuts in Murfreesboro since 1978. There's just something different about donuts from Donut Country. Bo and Cindy Davis and their wonderful staff will greet you with a smile, and you'll see all donuts aren't created equal. Fresh donuts anytime you want them, 24/7 at Donut Country on Memorial down from Clark. And they're open each morning on Middle Tennessee Boulevard. Check out their Facebook page for specials and promotions. Nothing else compares to Donut Country. Open 24 hours.
It's the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coach's Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's on 1019 100.5, 1450 WGNSsports.com and Big G TV.
And the Coach's Show is brought to you by Rick's Barbecue, serving up the best smoked barbecue, ribs, and many local favorites on Warrior Drive, locally operated by Anne-Marie Brents and the Lanning family. John Ding is back with you for round two, and we have Matt Williams on the line, the head coach of the Smyrna Bulldogs. Matt, I'm going to just say this: have y'all found your mojo here? I mean, 2 big wins in a row.
Well, yeah, we're happy, obviously, with the improvement, and I think we found a few things. We've still got a lot of work to do in certain areas, but I was proud of our kids last night. I thought they did what I asked them to do. I asked them to play, start fast and come out of the gate fast, and I thought they did that. And on offense and defense, we were able to go down and score on our first drive. And defensively, for the most part, did a really good job. The first half held them scoreless, so I was proud of that. And I thought we did a lot of really good things last night. We just got to clean up. Had too many penalties, I felt like, and just some simple things we got to clean up. And I told the kids I was proud of them and thought they did a great job. Just let them know that those little mistakes, get magnified in region ball games. So we got to clean some of that up.
I didn't get to talk to you from last week's win, but it almost seemed like a light bulb came on at the end of the second quarter of that Rockville game, and it's kind of like you carried it over to this game. And one of the reasons is Zeke Key, I think, 7 of 10 for 143 yards, 2 touchdowns last night.
Yeah, he did some really good things. He also had a really long, I think it was 60-something yard touchdown run last night, and did some good things getting out of the pocket. He's athletic, and on the first drive, we had a third and I think 3rd and 8 or something like that, and nothing came open. He just took off running and got about 15. So it's nice to have that ability to make something out of nothing, and he's done a really good job. And he's taking care of the football. Against Siegel, we had 2 interceptions, but really only one of those sort of attributed to him, and it was still a tip ball that the DB made a great play on. So I felt like for the most part he's done a good job valuing the football and taking care of it, and he's made some plays. So I'm proud of Zeke, and I kept asking for the quarterback to step up, and Zeke has answered the bell there. So just very proud of him.
Our SRM concrete solid performer for Smyrna last night, Matt, was Christian Beatty, 17 carries for 169 yards, 2 touchdowns. That has to be good to mix the pass and the run as well as you did. And now you've got, with Christian and Zeke, you've kind of got a double weapon back there.
Yeah, Christian's a very talented young man. We knew that. We had him as a freshman. He was our freshman tailback, and had to move to Nashville. He and his mom and his family moved to Nashville last year, and he actually played at Maplewood his sophomore year. And we were lucky he moved back to Smyrna and was able to come back to Smyrna High. And he did a great job last night. He was banged up. He got a deep thigh bruise against Brentwood. There missed a couple games, and I feel like he's getting back to his normal self. And last night he did a great job. Our offensive line, I thought our offensive line last night did a phenomenal job. You got John Richardson up there, Sam Rebel, Will McKnight, Brian Bisson, and then Jerry Martin and Anthony Stable.
Jerry Martin, what can I say about him? 7 tackles, 2 sacks, but he's been doing that all year long. He is a monster.
He's an animal. He had two blocked field goals last week against Rockville, and just a special player. And but I'm proud of our offensive line. I'm proud that they got better. That was, we had 1 returning starter coming back on the offensive line, and just not a lot of experience outside of that. And we've had kids step up and kids buy into it. And Christian did a phenomenal job last night, but we also had some really good blocking up front, I felt like.
We've talked about this before as long as we've known each other, about offensive lines. When you have a new group or you have a younger group, it does take a few games for them to gel and kind of get together. I don't think people put enough emphasis on that, but it really does.
Yeah, the teamwork it goes into, playing offensive line is just, it can't be understated. It's, or overstated, I guess is what I'm trying to say. You've got to have teamwork there, communication. You've got to make all your calls and know who's helping who and all those things. And it definitely takes a while to gel and become a unit. And I feel like we're becoming that. And I'm just proud of all those offensive linemen because I help coach them. And I'm not always easy on them, but very fun group of guys to coach, man. I just tell them that all the time. And it's sort of given me a little shot in the arm this year. I've been mainly on defense the last number of years on the defense side of the ball, and switching over has sort of been a shot in the arm to me. And getting to work with a group of kids like that, man, they're just so fun to be around, and it makes coming to practice really fun.
I'm going to mention a few more kids here. Weathers had 2 receptions, 92 yards. Valentine, 4 receptions, 53 yards and a touchdown. And German, 9 tackles and an interception on defense. So is this perhaps maybe your best all-round game up to this point?
Yeah, I think so. I think we, probably all around, because offensively, I felt like we started fast. Rockville, like you said, we sort of muddled around the first quarter and didn't do very much. And so I do feel like this was our most complete game. We started fast, like I asked them to, and put some points on the board early. I do feel like there was a lull there, which sometimes happens when you jump out to a lead. And I felt like we came out of halftime, defensively and gave up the score to the quarterback. Coffee County's quarterback's a really good player. And, he did a good job there on a power read last night and popped a long run. We got out of position a little bit. But I do think it was our most complete game. And felt like our kids responded after that and did a really good job. And I was proud of our backups. We got to get some kids in late. And our second O-line got to come in there, and our second tailback and some of our second receivers. And we were able to drive the ball down and put a touchdown on the board. And then our second, third team defense came in and still held them scoreless after that. So I was proud of our kids that got some playing time last night.
We're talking to Matt Williams, the head coach of the Smyrna Bulldogs. Matt, I think it's been a crazy year so far. Siegel has come in, gotten some big wins. You've got a big win under your belt there with Rockville in district play. But you never know. And Stewart's Creek, had some injuries. They had a big win over Laverne. It is crazy, and it doesn't get any easier, I know, for you because you're going to be traveling to Riverdale next week.
Yeah, we got, but it's the games you look forward to. We look forward to going to Riverdale. And we played Riverdale. It's been a pretty good little rivalry here the last number of years. We played them even when we weren't in that region, played them every year. And, they do a great job over there. Coach Kreisky does a great job. And I know they had a big win last night over Columbia. And they're going to be hard to prepare for. But, it's fun for us. It's fun for the kids to get to go to good atmospheres. We feel like we've got a good atmosphere here at Smyrna High, and we know the same thing will happen at Riverdale. So, this is what you coach and what you play for, and we look forward to traveling to Riverdale in the big region ball game. And it's like I told our kids, we put ourselves behind the 8 ball, at Siegel, and we obviously did not play to our standard, and felt like we really let one slip away. And not taking anything away from Siegel, because they did a great job that night and won a football game. But we know every game from this point forward is pretty much a playoff game, and that's the way we're treating it. So I think our kids will come in and have a great week of preparation. We play on Thursday night, so we'll actually have them in here for practice tomorrow afternoon. And I think our kids are excited and looking forward to the challenge.
1 day of rest for the weary, and then they go back out at it again tomorrow. I know you were talking about the Riverdale rivalry, Matt. That has been a good rivalry, and there have been some really good games. We've been able to broadcast some of those games, and there have been some surprising wins, some surprising losses. I mean, it's what you want in high school football, really.
Yeah, last year we had the lead for the majority of the game. We let it slip away, we felt like, and they did a good job there finishing last year and closing the game out. And but yeah, there's been some back and forth over the years, and their kids play really, really hard. They're well coached. Coach Kreisky do a great job, and we'll have to be very well prepared, and our kids know what they're in for, and they're going to have to play really hard. So should be a lot of fun, and I know they're looking forward to it too, and I think it'll be a good region matchup.
On a non-football note, the stadium looks beautiful. It's just really Sherry does such a good job keeping that place spick and span. It looks like a brand new place, really, and it's one of the older schools,
Yeah, I was thinking the other day, I was walking through the back part of our school. We've got the new addition, but I was walking through the park. Of course, I've been here for a long time, but we added on, I think, around 2004 or 5 to Smyrna High School the first time, and I was walking through those hallways and got to, just sort of dawned on me that was 20 years old, 20-plus years old.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, it still looks new, So Dr. Southern does a great job with the facilities, and those things are important, and she understands that. And I talk to our kids about it all the time about, picking up trash that's not yours and doing the little things. And, it's just something that she stresses that we try to also stress to our kids and our coaches. And, it's a special place, and we're blessed to have the facilities we have, and blessed to have SRM put in our program what they did. And it's just a great place to coach and a great place to teach.
Well, Matt, I'll be talking to you in a couple of weeks, and good luck against Riverdale, and say hi to the kids for me, okay? They're not kids anymore, but say hi to them anyway.
They're not. My daughter, I told her you said hi last week. She just beamed and talked about how nice a man you were, so I appreciate you asking about them. Hope your family's well, and it's always a pleasure, John.
Yes, sir. Thank you. That's Matt Williams, the head coach of the Smyrna Bulldogs, traveling to Riverdale on Thursday night now. Don't forget, there's going to be a lot of Thursday games. This portion of the show is brought to you by the law offices of John Day, providing superior legal representation to injury victims and their families. Find out more at johndaylegal.com.
The frustration many are feeling is real and justified. Kenneth Barrett said that after the county commission denied raises for deputies this year, and as sheriff, fair pay will be a top priority.
We need to figure out how we can get ours comparable to other agencies and start communication with the county commission to try to get less steps at a higher percentage.
With nearly 30 years at the sheriff's office, Barrett brings servant leadership, accountability, transparency, and fairness. Learn more at KennethBarrettForSheriff.com.
Paid for by Kenneth Barrett for Sheriff, Jan Stewart Treasurer. This is a paid legal ad.
I'm attorney John Day. Many lawyers are quick to say that they'll take the insurance company to court for you. But how do you know if the lawyer is an experienced trial attorney? Ask them if they're certified. In order to be certified, you have to have tried a lot of cases, taken a 2-day test, and get recommendations from judges and other lawyers. My wife Joy and I are both certified as civil trial specialists, and we have the experience to get the answers, justice, and compensation your family deserves. Call the law offices of John Day.
Hello, this is Coy Young at Las Casas Feed Supply. We'd like to welcome you to our door.
Whether you have a quarter acre or several, Las Casas Feed Supply has premium feeds and dog foods you can't find in box stores.
Nutrition is our specialty here at Las Casas Feed.
Plus, every Saturday morning they have a local producer-only farmers market with fresh vegetables, beef, pork, and more.
Customer service and expertise that exceeds your expectations.
Family owned and operated by Coy and Jennifer Young, Las Casas Feed Supply on Barlow Lane, just off Highway 96 East in Las Casas.
Your 401k is likely one of your most important assets, but it's only one part of a comprehensive retirement strategy. Edward Jones can help you understand how your retirement assets fit into your entire retirement picture so that you can work toward meeting your unique retirement goals. Contact me, Lee Colvin, your Edward Jones financial advisor in the Public Shopping Center on South Rutherford Boulevard, or give us a call at 615-907-7056. Edward Jones, Making Sense of Investing, member SIPC.
Rely on the experienced professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air.
Whether it's the blazing heat of summer or the bitter cold of winter, let the Rheem Pro professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Conditioning on West College Street keep your home or business comfortable year-round. We service all major brands and in most cases offer same-day service. Call us today at 615-890-1311. Prentice Allsup Heating and Air, your Rheem Pro partner heating and cooling contractor on West College Street, just under the Thompson Lane overpass.
It's the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coach's Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's on 101.9, 100.5, 1450, wgnssports.com, and Big G TV.
And this portion of the show brought to you by Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance, TOA, the largest and most comprehensive orthopedic surgery group in Middle Tennessee. Find out more at TOA.com. John Ding is back with you. My final coach for the day, Dalton. I'm going to be off after this, but always proud to have Matt Kreisky here in the building with us. And Matt, I know it's a disappointing loss in terms of the score, but I'm telling you, before we get into the game, I just want to tell you that's probably one of the biggest crowds, if not the biggest crowd I've ever seen at a high school football game, which is a testament not only to Oakland Patriots, but to your program and what you're doing out there, Blackman.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I can't say enough about all the fans that came out last night to support us. It was a great atmosphere, great high school football game. You know, that's what Rutherford County is about right there. 2 5-0 teams squaring off last night. And so it was good. It was exciting. It's something that the kids will always remember.
I don't know that I've been to a game where the crowd was so fired up at the beginning of a game. In fact, your guys were fired up. I mean, there was some massive hitting, both sides early going in that game.
Yeah, it was a real physical football game, both sides of football. I thought both teams really got after it, and it was a good game. Of course, unfortunately, we didn't come out on top, but got to give a lot of credit to Oakland. They did a great job, coming out after halftime, making some adjustments and doing things that they need to do to win.
The final score doesn't really indicate how close that game was, because up until about the fourth quarter, that game was still in doubt. Really, I know there was a fumble that hurt, but explain that first half. I think you all had trouble moving the football against them, but the defense was unbelievable. I mean, they held most of the game.
Yeah, the defense did a great job. got to give our hats off to the defense, and also our special teams. Special teams put us in great field position a couple of times with some kickoff returns. Offensively, that's on me. I put all the blame on me. We did some things. I just don't think some of our kids, we weren't prepared like we needed to be going into, and that's on me. Some of the things we did against them wasn't working effectively, and that falls back on me. I know our kids are going to come back. We're ready to work on Monday and get ready for Stewart's Creek. But like you said, our defense played well last night. They did an outstanding job. Like you mentioned earlier, Tramel Johnson, he had a great game. Jaden Gowan, one of our linebackers, had an excellent game. Trey Thornton's in secondary. He's played well all year long. Those guys weren't on the field too long, and they gave us everything that they had. Like you said, it was 7-0 at halftime. So we were still in the game, and we've got to be able to move the ball effectively and do things. We've got too many guys on offense that can really help us out. That can if we get the ball in space and do what we're supposed to do, to have more success on offense than what we did last night. And again, like I've mentioned, that's on me. I got to get those guys ready and get them better prepared for big games like this.
Oakland, they have some depth at running back. They do play some fresh legs, put some fresh legs in there. That makes it tough if they're on the field too long. And Blackman, you could kind of tell a little bit toward the fourth quarter that they may have run out of gas a little bit, but boy, they still kept fighting.
Yeah, I mean that's one thing our defensive staff does. They instill, man. Those guys are fighters on that side of the ball. They're not going to give up. They gave us everything that they had. They emptied their tank last night. That's what we wanted them to do, and I'm really proud of them and what they did. I'm proud of all our kids. They fought hard. They wanted this game bad. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. We got to regroup and get ready for next week for another big region game.
One thing I did notice, the bigger game, the big crowd, and this is the first time really that this is a 5-2-5-0 undefeated teams. The lights weren't too bright for your guys, though. I don't think they didn't bother them at all.
No, they didn't.
Yeah.
I don't think it did at all. They were ready. They were ready for the task at hand. And just like we mentioned, we made a few mistakes here and there. They really cost us. You can't do that against a good team like Oakland. And a good physical football team. Coach Carisi does an outstanding job, and that's what we've got to get ready and prepare better as we move forward.
Tramel Johnson, by the way, is our SRM solid performance, SRM Concrete solid performance. He had 6 tackles, one and a half for loss, and that's the kind of defense that you've been wanting them to play. This is kind of a culmination of about 3 years now. So where do you think you're at in terms of where you want them to be?
I think where we need to be. I think we've made some strides this year. We just got can't get complacent. Sitting at 5-1. We've got to be ready for each week. Our goal each week is to be 1-0. We don't want to talk about the past. Let's move forward and prepare. I'm proud of how we are. The big thing I told them last night is how we're going to respond to this. We still have an opportunity, if we do what we're supposed to do, to host a playoff game. And that's been one of our goals this year is to host a playoff game. So like I mentioned, I have no doubt that these young men are going to come back fired up and ready to work on Monday.
Matt Kreisky's our guest here on the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coach's Corner. Matt, you travel to Stewart's Creek, a road game for you, but get away from the limelight a little bit and go travel. But Stewart's Creek, they've had some issues, they've had some injury problems, but they're well coached too. They're a good team.
Yeah, any team you face in this region is going to be well coached and well coached. They're going to be disciplined. They're going to be doing what they're coached to do, fundamentals. So we've got to prepare and be ready. It's a short week, playing on Thursday, so everything's kind of crammed in, and it's a shorter week. So you got to get the guys prepared and ready to go. Like you mentioned, Coach Caudell does an outstanding job, so we know he'll have his guys ready Thursday night to play.
And you mentioned you got to move on, forget about this game. But having a short week, I would think that would help a lot. I mean, you just got to get right into it like tomorrow.
Yeah, and so that's one thing I guess about the short week. You got, like you said, you just move on. It's time to move on. You can't worry about about Friday night, because if you sit there and worry about it and not preparing, not getting better, then it's going to affect you for the next game. So we've got to be ready, and it's like you mentioned, every one of these region games is like a playoff game. So it's going to be tough, and it'll be another fun night of football. It'll be a great atmosphere. I
want to quickly talk about Javion because he had some moments last night. There's just weren't as many of them as you need, but he is really talented, and he's that other threat running the football too, and not only that, but throwing it as well.
Yeah, Javion, dual threat. He can, once he drops back to pass, he can pull it and run, and that what makes him scary. He did a great job last night trying to execute our game plan and what we were trying to accomplish. And so he's a threat for us. Just proud of what he's done so far in the season, and we know that he's going to keep building on what we're trying to do moving forward.
And I love Bass. I love there's not Bass, but what I'm saying, I've got his name wrong. Kemp.
Yeah, Jabari Kemp.
Yeah, there you go.
Jabari Kemp.
He's a good player.
Yeah, Jabari Kemp, one of our running backs. Him and Micah Nance do a great job splitting the carries. You never hear a word out of either one of them about that. That they both run the ball. They're very physical, hard. And if they get a little crease, they have an opportunity to break it. Jabari did a great job last night for us carrying the football, as well as Micah.
As we travel on, and you mentioned one thing about we move on. Now you just need to take care of business, right? I mean, that's kind of the goal, one at a time.
Yes, sir. One at a time. 4 more games left. Take care of one at a time, and we want a home playoff game. That's what we've been talking about. That's one of the things that we wanted this year as our goal. And so we've got to forget about Friday night. And make improvements and correct our mistakes and get ready for Thursday night.
Was it not great to see all that excitement, though?
Yeah, it was.
Crowd. I mean, somebody told me there was probably 2,000 more people than capacity. I don't know if that's true or not, but there were people out in the parking lot, couldn't get in, and I think they had to call extra police to be able to make sure, and this I credit the administration, they had enough people to get those cars and out of there, and they foresaw what might happen there.
Yeah, you can't say enough about our administration, how they got everyone in, and everything was a great environment, good controlled environment, and so they did an outstanding job, and everybody that from our assistant principals to our staff at Blackman did an excellent job, and we really appreciate everything that they did last night to make it a great night.
I know you too, that you probably, you see things and go, there's things we can improve on, but I do know what you have built there has been a steady climb each year, and trying to take it the rest of the way here is going to be big for this team.
Yes, sir. Like you I think it's huge. And we got to continue to get better each week. And this week's going to be a little different than the past 5, so I want to see how we react, how we respond. But deep down, I have no doubt that these guys are going to respond great, and they'll be ready to work.
Well, it's always good talking to you, man, and good luck against Stewart's Creek. It's we're over halfway there. It's hard to believe, isn't it? It goes fast, doesn't it?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
That's Matt Kreisky, the head coach of the Blackman Blaze. He's got things going down at Blackman. This portion of the show brought to you by Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance, TOA, the largest and most comprehensive orthopedic surgery group in Middle Tennessee. Find out more at TOA.com.
Do you love WGNS Radio? Well, now you can watch it too. WGNS Big GTV brings your favorite radio shows live and on demand. From breaking news and community talk to Rutherford County's top local sports. We've got it all right at your fingertips. Watch anytime, anywhere. WGNS Big GTV, where radio comes to life.
Head over to J. Mullins Jewelry to check out their selection of rings, watches, custom designed jewelry, and much more. They're a local business located at 352 West Northville Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro. They have gifts for all occasions, weddings, graduations, anniversaries, whatever you need, you can find it at J. Mullins Jewelry. That's at 352 West Northville Boulevard or online at mullinsjewelry.com.
Craig's Tax Service at 142 Heritage Park Drive offers complete tax preparation, financial, and bookkeeping services.
This is Brett Craig with Craig's Tax Service. From personal tax preparation to business bookkeeping, payroll, and taxes, at Craig's Tax Service, our staff is here to help.
Get help with your taxes. Call 890-2233 for an appointment.
As a former Siegel Star football player, I know the importance of the high school sports experience. Good luck to all county student athletes.
Craig's Tax Service, 890-2233.
At Dr. Automotive in Smyrna, we're committed to providing local car owners with top-notch auto repair services. With over 2 decades of experience, our ASC certified master technicians are experts in both foreign and domestic vehicles, ensuring accurate diagnosis and timely, cost-effective repairs. From oil changes to major engine and transmission repairs, we've got the cure for your car. Dr. Automotive, keeping your car running smoothly, mile after mile. Visit our website, smyrnaautorepair.com.
It's the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coach's Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's on 101.9, 100.5, 1450, wgnssports.com, and Big G TV.
We're back here on the Coach's Show as we roll along this morning, brought to you by this segment, Parks Auction Company. Let their team of experienced and professionally trained staff utilize the auction process to sell your property. Find out more at parksauction.com. A quick look at the scoreboard from last night. Oakland over Blackman 32-0. Rockvale downs Siegel 21-14. It was Riverdale 41-7 over Columbia, and 40-7 Smyrna over Coffee County. And both Riverdale and Smyrna had homecoming last night. Richland best Eagleville 37-7. PCA a winner on Thursday night over Franklin County 38-15, and MTCS 28. Providence Academy Johnson City 21. And the other final last night, Stewart's Creek 35, Laverne nothing. We were talking with Laverne coach Chris Johnson, and you haven't had very many road games at all, but could you imagine, like MTCS, your region consisting of a team from Johnson City? How ridiculous.
Well, I mean, I'm just trying to keep our morale up, and keep our kids engaged and competing every week. And for the most part, they're still fighting and still showing up. So we'll take that as a victory.
We talked about this the last time, and because of this host being out and this is only the second time that you and I've had the chance to talk. And the first was, everything was, 0-0 first week of the season, and a lot has happened since then. Here we are right before fall break, and you knew that the challenge was going to be great in this region, and it is week in and week out. But it also gives you an example of this is where we want to be, guys, and where we're building this program to.
Most definitely. And we talk to our kids about that all the time. Like, those of you, especially the ones that want to play at the next level, like you always want to play up. And you always want to, I come from the school of if you want to be the best, you got to play the best, right? And so it gives you a good measuring stick on how hard you have to work and what you have to aim for, what you have to shoot for. And we've got a lot of young kids playing on Friday nights, and I think it's valuable lessons for those young kids to come out here and just fight every week.
Talk about youth and experience and what that mix is, because you have a few upperclassmen, and you've really put a lot on their shoulders to help lead this team, haven't you?
Yeah, I mean, you take, like, for example, last night, we had a great drive going that first time we were on offense, and 2 big explosive plays that were 30 yards or more. But, they were called back because of penalties. And, on that drive alone, we faced a 3rd and 42. And it's just tough for guys that don't have a lot of game experience to overcome those kind of holes that we dig ourselves in. And we had another snap over our punter's head and gave them the ball right there on the 2. So before we knew it, we looked up, it's 14-0. And with young guys who really don't have a lot of game experience, it's tough for them to kind of mentally lock in and say, hey, let's battle back and tie the game up. But we're gaining that experience. And for the older guys that are there, it's a lot to put on their shoulders to try to pick all of the young guys up. So we're figuring those things out as a team.
You mentioned 2 things that I know you're kind of like me, follically challenged here, so you can't really pull your hair out. But there is no 3rd and 42 play in the playbook.
No, there is. I look at it last night, and I told our guys, when you're kind of digging from your bag a little bit to have these post-game speeches and what do you say to your team. But when you go back and look at the game, a lot of it is us beating ourselves. Mm-hmm. We're making crazy mistakes, that's causing us penalties. We had to have over 100 yards of penalties last night. Drop balls, missed assignments. Those are things that I believe only game experience can teach you, and guys getting reps and getting more comfortable and doing what they do. And so we've got a lot of things to build on as we try to close the season out and then look toward, building for the future.
But unfortunately, when you need this game experience, there are only so many games to get that done in. This is the shortest season of really any sport that you could play. So you have to make the most of every Friday night. And are you seeing your guys doing that, making the most of their Friday night experience and learning? I'm sure you've seen tremendous growth from week 1 to now.
Yeah, I mean, not only on Friday nights, but on Monday nights when our freshmen are playing. We're trying to get guys game experience that way. Some of those guys are playing, on Monday and then getting some reps on Friday. We're just trying to get them as much game experience as we can, and we got to take advantage of practice and preparation and just getting them that experience and becoming better football minds and students of the game. So we've got a lot of work to do in a short period of time, being our first year, and it's for us, it's pacing ourselves, saying this is what we really want to get accomplished this first year. And for the most part, we're seeing that. I want to talk about we had 2 freshman quarterbacks that played last night. Aaron Samuel and Deacon Hanlon came in, and we put a lot on them. Drayton, our quarterback, that's been our quarterback all season, was a little nicked up. He didn't play last night, so those young guys had to come in and kind of fill in and sling it a little bit. Made some mistakes as freshmen do, but then they did some great things that we can coach up and get better on.
There have been a few Samuels come through Laverne, so is this still following in the line of Samuels?
I don't know if they're kin or not. Okay. I don't think they are.
Pretty good athletes, though. I know that for sure. Talk a little bit about the freshman side. I mean, we're not that far removed from not really having the ability to have that young group have a team of its own. So I mean, this is showing some program growth. I mean, this was obviously a rebuild thing for you. You knew it was, but the freshman deal, I mean, that's one step and one very important cog in this to get playing time and reps for kids.
I mean, like I said, those 2 quarterbacks came in last night, got some good reps. Thomas Dixon, who's going to be a huge talent, that's going to be a name to remember. He's pretty special. He got in at running back and had some great carries. He's electric, and I can't wait to see him grow. And so we've got another one, Denham Hall, who's a receiver. He's a big, long, lanky guy. He's going to get in there and make some plays. So we've got some guys that we can build with. We've got some juniors that are going to be pretty good. Jacoby Miller is another one who's explosive. He's the one that had some big runs last night. So we've got some future builds. I think it's just a matter of us not trying to, hit too many targets in one season and just say, hey, here's what we're trying to get accomplished this first year as we're trying to lay a foundation.
And Chris Johnson here with us. We're talking Laverne football this morning. You have to have a great support staff around you that, have bought into the vision that you have for Laverne. You also have to have an administration that believes in that and all, and you've got that support.
We 100% have that support. Dr. Hatchett, our principal, she's fully aware of what it takes to shift. She's done it at the school. She came in and has done a phenomenal job at Laverne High, just changing some things in the hallways and in the building. And so we're all following her lead. And so she knows she has the model. And I think that's what she wanted to see us do, is come in and shift some culture things. And for the most part, we're doing that. We're laying that foundation. It's always tough in the beginning. And my coaching staff is phenomenal. These guys all played at the next level, so they know what it takes, and they're bought into what we have to get accomplished. And also, we had some seniors. I couldn't close this off without, Kevin Ruiz, who's our defensive end. He's pretty much the heartbeat of our team. Fought to the very last snap last night. Had to have over 10 tackles from the D-line spot, but he and Isaiah Welch, these guys are out there battling. They're seniors, and they're out there battling, and so hats off to them and all the hard work they've put in.
I'm sure it's your hope, it's everybody's hope at Laverne, that those two seniors can come back in 10 years and say we were on the front end of what has turned into this now. And I think I see you smile. That's gotta be a thought.
We talked to them about that. You talk about anything shifting and trying to turn the tide on any program or organization, and the people who are a part of that, they are a part of history. And so I think about what we were able to accomplish at MTSU. I look at the multi-million-dollar facility they're in. All the guys that we were the first D1 class, we can say, no, we took the lumps and bruises so that they could have that. And hopefully those guys can look back and say, yeah, we were part of that shifting culture team. And so that's what we're trying to build.
99, really? You can't be that old, right?
Oh, man. I am that old. I guess
don't look it.
I guess 44 is old now. I don't know how that became old all of a sudden.
But that would have been 99, right, at middle?
Yeah, 99. Yeah.
Jeez, time flies when you're having fun. Doesn't it?
It does.
And I really do think that's what these kids are going to be able to come back and look and see. And, in the next 10 years, who knows what facilities are going to look like at Laverne, and all of the exciting things that you hear about, and the vision that's been cast, and for them to be able to say, I was there when that vision was first cast. I mean,
Most
that's a special moment.
It's a very special moment. You have stake in it, and it's like you put blood, sweat, and tears of investments into it, and it's good to see it all come to pass.
Well, you've got Kirkwood coming up on Thursday night, so you got Thursday night lights.
Yep.
And another home game for you.
Another home game, yeah. And we're excited about it. Our fans have been phenomenal. Our parents have been phenomenal coming to the games. Our teachers and students have been phenomenal. So hats off to them. But we've got homecoming coming in. Kirkwood's a good team. I think they're 5-1. They just beat Dixon last night. So it's going to be another good team and another good challenge for us.
Well, hope folks will use the opportunity to get to Laverne and see the Wolverines. And so let's see. I've insulted your hair and I've insulted your age. So maybe we'll talk in a few weeks again.
I love it. I have thick skin, so it doesn't bother me.
No, I appreciate you coming in, and looking forward to talking about all the good things that are going on at Laverne High School each and every week, Coach.
Thank you so much.
All right, we're talking Laverne football, and we'll switch gears here in just a couple of moments and bring in the Oakland Patriots here on the Coaches Show, brought to you by Dr. Automotive, the cure for your car, professional auto repair and maintenance from ASE certified mechanics and master mechanics. AutoRepairSmyrna.com online.
When the weather turns bad, minutes, even seconds matter.
This is an early heads up for southern Rutherford County.
Rutherford Weather brings you live radar and expert meteorologist insight, giving you the early heads up when storms threaten.
A lot of areas are going to see some impacts from this storm.
From analysis to live camera views, we keep you informed before, during, and after the storm.
I think the vast majority of the hail with this now is going to be quarter to perhaps golf ball size.
Rutherford Weather. Stay ahead of the storm.
Clark's Auction Company will get you top dollar for your property.
Clark's has a team of experienced auctioneers and realtors who make selling your property simple. Whether you're selling your home, farm, or have an estate to settle, auctions are easy, fast, and profitable. You don't have to worry about the hassle of updates, repairs, or showings, and you'll receive multiple offers on auction day.
Clark's Auction Company will get you top dollar for your property.
Clark's Auction Company, committed to auction excellence.
Sold it to you, 27.5.
If you need concrete work done, who would I call? Dan France Concrete. Here's why. He's local. He attended Walter Hill Elementary, Oakland, and MTSU. He served our community as a school resource officer for 9 years, and he's involved in the community.
This is Dan with Dan France Concrete, wishing all Rutherford County student athletes a great season. Study hard, play harder, and be safe.
Dan France Concrete is a licensed and insured residential and commercial concrete construction contractor serving Middle Tennessee. Check out danfranceconcrete.com online to see some of their work.
At Middle Tennessee Electric, we see the lines that link us all, illuminating our neighborhoods, empowering our businesses, and helping us to recharge. Because we believe in the power of good energy. Whether it comes from our grids, the sun, or a kind heart. And as your family and our region continue to grow, you can trust that we'll always be there for you. Middle Tennessee Electric, bringing good energy.
It's the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coach's Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's on 1019 100.5, 1450 WGNSsports.com and Big G TV.
Coach's Show brought to you in part by our friends at Middle Tennessee Electric, serving the community by providing affordable, reliable, and safe electricity. Online at mte.com. A little electricity last night at Blackman for the Oakland Patriots. A final 32-0. Oakland the winner. Coach, I think you look at that score and can be a little deceiving. It was a full four-quarter game for your guys at Blackman.
Yeah. Got the clock running right there at the end, the mercy rule right there in the fourth quarter. But, it was 4 quarters and, pretty much both team starters stayed in the whole time. That's good for us. I mean, we hadn't been able to, keep those guys in and with clocks running and stuff. So 7-0 at halftime, give Blackman a lot of credit. It was a heck of a game all the way through. A couple mistakes for them right there at the end, added some easy scores. But there's nothing easy about moving the ball on their defense. Their defense is really good. But then, I got to brag on our defense. I think their leading rusher had 15 yards rushing last night. Their leading receiver had 0 catches. I mean, I think our defense did a heck of a job. Coach Watson, who used to be at Blackman, is over here with us, and we're so glad to have him. That sucker had a good game plan together, and the kids played hard. That was the biggest thing. Our kids played hard, and they played all 4 quarters.
Watson still got Oakland blood in him. I mean,
that's right. He's an Oakland alum.
From I think they had leather helmets back in the day when he played.
He's the one that kind of helped design that jersey we got.
Oh, is that right?
It says Murfreesboro on the back. That was a throwback to his playing days of, 86, 87. The away jerseys were they had Murfreesboro on the back, and I thought that was pretty cool. So we wore those last night, and Blackman pulled out some smoky gray uniforms. I thought they looked good. A great environment last night for high school football. Stands were packed. Blackman definitely won at the gate. There was probably, 50,000 at least at the gate. And then, of course, a big shout out to their administration for doing a great job of just managing the whole situation. I mean, it's just, people think about principals and they think they're, signing off on tardies and sending kid to ISS or something. But their job on a Friday is, it's 16-hour days, and they're out there doing stuff that principals, usually didn't go to school for, didn't sign up for. And I thought they did a heck of a job of getting people in and out. I think it was the local police department out there directing traffic, people getting stuck left and right, just parking in the grass. And they say at kickoff, it was lined up all the way to I-24 trying to get into that ball game. And that's awesome. That's exactly what you want in this region. 2 undefeated teams playing, and you want it packed.
Yeah, well, that traffic, it was second quarter, and still the traffic backed up to the interstate I-24. So you look at any level. I'm a football fan, but any level of football, I mean, there's nothing more pure than coming out on a Friday night and watching 2 really good high school football teams. And this community supports it. You see it. You've been here long enough to know.
Yep. And, Murfreesboro, they still love high school football. And, like I said, you saw their student section was phenomenal last night, but then you see a lot of older people pulled up, and they knew that was the game of the week, and they had to go watch it. And, anybody that couldn't, hopefully they tuned in, watched it online or listened on the radio. Ultimately, it was viewed by a lot of people, and, it didn't disappoint. A lot of times big games don't live up to the hype, but that one did. And 7-0 ball game, to start the third quarter, it made for, what you want to see in a big-time region matchup.
Well, I kind of thought at coin toss, when you're kicking off to Blackman, it's like, well, Oakland's going to have the ball to start the third quarter. And you all make adjustments. Your team responds. Whatever happens at halftime, it's like magic. You have a 7-0 lead at halftime and then come out and chew the clock in the third quarter and end it with a score. When you go up by 2 scores and give the opponent the ball with 5-6 minutes left in the third, is that your MO? Do you like to do that?
Well, I mean, we always say our most important drive is the one out of halftime. The one out of halftime, you kind of feel each other out for a couple quarters, and the one out of halftime is the most important. And by deferring the coin toss and getting the ball kicked off in the second half, then we knew that Bourne Bozen was going to kick it through the back of the end zone. Unfortunately, we weren't able to do that any last night, and so we were going to have to start on the 20. And so our challenge at halftime, I mean, there wasn't no screaming or hollering or anything like that. We just talked to them, coached them up a little bit, and said, we need to go 80 yards on this drive. It's the whole ball game. And then they made a mistake by jumping off sides, and we went for 2. And so it became 15-0, and that's that kind of put them in a bind a little bit.
I wanted to talk about field position because that you talked about being at the 20 and all. Field position was kind of tough for you guys in the first. They have a couple of big returns on the night, and one of those being early, and it sometimes it takes a little bit to get out of that hole, and it took a few series to get things rolling.
Yeah, I mean, I think their special teams outplayed us for sure. Coach Holman, former Oakland Patriot himself, he's over at Blackman running their special teams. I thought he did a great job. Had at least 3 good kickoff returns that put them in good field position. Started the game on our side of the 50, that's never good. They did a great job of protecting for their punter. We've been known for blocking punts all year. I think we got close one time, but the one time we did get close, they punted it 70 yards because we didn't have a returner back there. We sent 11 guys to block it, and so give credit to those guys for protecting it, and of course the kicker for not just getting rid of it, but having a roll on that turf. And you talk about flipping the field. I'm serious. It was almost a 70-yard punt.
Yeah. About a 30-yard roll, but I mean, it was a good punt.
We got in our own way on a couple things. We should have had somebody back there to at least stop it from rolling. And then, of course, we should not run backwards on a screen pass on the 8-yard line. We shouldn't go backwards like 15 yards on that. So we took ourselves out of field goal range. Penalties cost us a couple times. But ultimately, everybody kind of settled down, and then we started, playing Oakland football.
We are talking Oakland football with Kevin Creasy this morning. Every team's got that player that's just steady and keeps things going. And your SRM concrete solid performer from last night in this game, I thought Dante Cameron's quarterback play. 12 carries, 163 yards. He was 3 for 3 passing, and that's got to take his passing percentage in the high 80s. And a lot of people see those stats, and those are good full game stats, but he's playing half a game. I mean, it's every other play. I mean, it's pretty remarkable.
Yep, we've got 2 quarterbacks, both of them really good. And Dante, definitely showed off with his legs. It's been one of those deals where we knew both quarterbacks could throw it. But, man, he turned out to be a big-time runner for us last night, made some incredible cuts and moves and made people miss. We hadn't really seen that side of Dante, and just an explosive dual-threat quarterback.
I want to spend some time talking about that David Watson defense too here, because they were very solid. And I heard a stat that your starting defense has not been scored on since first half in that CPA game in week 1.
That's right.
Did you realize that?
Yeah.
I'm sure you did.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a lot of shutouts. That's
Yeah.
a lot of good defense being played, and it only takes one guy to make a mistake for somebody to score, and whether it's a blown coverage or a mismatch, or somebody doesn't fit a gap right and they just spring one on you. So for that much consistency to happen over that amount of time, it's pretty impressive. And like I said, props to the defense. They play hard. That's the best compliment I can give them. Every game they are undersized. We go at the coin flip, and every game our guys are looking up at somebody. We're the smaller team in every game we played so far this year. But those dudes out there on defense, they don't care how big the guy is in front of them. They play their guts out. They play hard. They use what they do have, speed sometimes, aggressiveness, physicality, the weight room, and they use it to their advantage. And so a lot of credit got to be given to our senior linebacker, Cullen Williams. He's kind of the leader of the defense, and he had a heck of a game last night.
He did. I think he leads your team in tackles as well, if I remember correctly from the stats. And there was one kid who makes a difference in a ball game. Gaynor was not able to play last night. So you're even shifting people around on defense, and still pitched the shutout at a good Blackman team.
Yeah. Kyrie is a heck of a player, Kyrie Gaynor, and so we had to shuffle some people around, and people playing different positions, but they got coached up and did a heck of a job for us.
Kyrie's one of those kids that he's gonna make a play that stands out every single game.
That's right.
Not multiple, but he's gonna get one.
That's right, and we're hoping to have him back by the playoffs.
Oh, I'm sure. So, well, we come in on a short week this week, and you get to host a home region game on Thursday with Rockville Rockets, and they had a huge win over Siegel last night, and keep themselves in the playoff hunt here. And it's wild. We're talking about week 7 and playoff hunts right now.
Yeah, no doubt. And there's still a lot of people that are playing for that playoff spot, and so Rockville, they need I think another win, and so we want to make sure that's not against us. And then of course short week is always challenging. I think it may be homecoming too. I'm not even sure. Senior night, homecoming, something. But it's right before fall break, so we want everybody to come out and support these guys on Thursday night.
Well, these home games are important because it takes money to go on the road and all that kind of stuff. So
that's right.
Get out and support your hometown local team, whatever team that might be. And if you're an Oakland Patriot fan, you've got an opportunity on Thursday night to see some Thursday night lights. Coach, appreciate it. And these are nights that hopefully, like last night, these kids will be able to go and, when they're talking to their kids and even their grandkids, they can say, well, we played and did this. And, that's where memories are made on Friday nights.
Yeah. Somebody had a shot of, I think it was Tut running a touchdown, but whoever it was a long run. And in the background, you can just see every seat at
Blaze Stadium is full.
Yeah.
I mean, how many, Tut may get to do that at Oxford someday, playing for Ole Miss. But probably 8 of the 11 other guys will never get a chance to play in front of a packed house like that. And I give our guys credit, man. They perform well on the road in a hostile environment.
Coach, appreciate it. We'll see you next Saturday to talk about the first 2/3 of the season. Kind of crazy, but we'll see you then.
Sounds good.
Kevin Creasy joining us here on the Coach's Show, brought to you by Edward Jones financial advisor Lee Colvin, who will work with you to develop a complete tailored strategy to help you achieve your financial goals. That's Edward Jones financial advisor Lee Colvin.
Get ready for an unforgettable night and support First Shot. Autumn at the Alley is coming to Oakland's Mansion Tuesday, September 24th from 6 to 9 p.m. Sip on fine bourbon, wine, and spirits, enjoy premium cigars, and feast on incredible food from the Alley on Main, all while enjoying live music under the stars. Proceeds benefit First Shot's Academic All-Stars and Send the Kid to Camp programs. Find out more on their Facebook page and through Eventbrite. Autumn at the Alley, September 24th.
Pizza. You in a hurry for dinner? Well, we've made it even easier to order online at sirpizzatn.com. Tap the location nearest you and begin your carryout or delivery order at sirpizzatn.com. You can choose from our full menu and we'll take care of the rest. A Queen's Feast is calling my name. Order Murfreesboro's favorite pizza online at sirpizzatn.com.
Sir Pizza, you made me love pizza again.
Rely on the experienced professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air.
If your old unit needs a tune-up, the professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air service all major brands and even offer same-day service in most cases. Keep your home or business comfortable year-round. Call us today at 615-890-1311. Prentice Allsup Heating and Air, your Ring Pro partner heating and cooling contractor on West College Street, just under the Thompson Lane overpass. Online at PrenticeAllsup.com.
It's the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coach's Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's on 101.9, 100.5, 1450, wgnssports.com and Big G TV.
We're back here on the Coach's Show, which is brought to you in part by Prentice Allsup Heating and Air. Gosh, this show's been on since '93, all but the first 10 years. It's been the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coach's Show, and we appreciate them and their years and years of support. Family owned and operated since 1977. Get the best with Prentice Allsup Heating and Air, PrenticeAllsup.com online. Well, the best from Stewart's Creek this morning. Ben Caudill joins us. After a win, region win, all those are always big, and beat Laverne last night 35-0. Congrats on the win.
Yeah, appreciate it. Rival school for us. A lot of our kids go to middle school together, and going on the road, only game. This is kind of unique to say, only game on a grass field all season. And so, obviously it was a little bit of a wet week, practice-wise too. So, really proud of our guys and how they played last night.
What goes into that? Because, there's obviously a difference in turf and grass, and if it's wet and cleats are different. I mean, kind of how do you handle all that?
Yeah, we try to do a little bit more on our practice field during the week, and although it was a little wet, we still committed to that, and I think it affects some things just with kicking too. Sometimes those cleats are seems like now they're kind of geared towards turf in some ways, but regardless of where we played, I thought we had a really good mentality all week. I tell you, Brian, I've been really proud of how we've practiced the last several weeks, and it hasn't always shown at times, but it showed last night, and really proud of our coaches and our players.
It's one thing, I don't care who the opponent is, region game, on the road, there are all kinds of things that can happen, all kinds of distractions that can happen, and I've talked to a million coaches over the years. How you practice is how you play, and I'm sure you're a firm believer in that.
Yeah, and it's the unique thing about football is you spend so much more time practicing than playing, and I learned this from my uncle. He coached for years with Ricky Bowers, and he's told me many times, like, Ben, the reason Coach Bowers is such a great coach in basketball and football is, his practices were so hard that playing a game was easy. And I think this team is becoming a really good practice team. We were not early in the season, and we've just done a really good job of trying to be better Monday through Thursday, and I thought that was definitely the case last week.
The football season, it's the shortest season of any sport, really, but the time and effort that go into it, I'm not sure that it's fully appreciated, the practice that's put in, and that's where your relationships are made. That's where your trust is made between coach and player, and player to player, and it's practice. I'm really encouraged by how our players have responded to the last few weeks, and various things that have happened and transpired, and at the end of the day, any region wins a big win, especially when it's on the road, and I'm really proud of not just what took place on the field, but just our mentality these last few weeks, being resilient. Those are the things that we're going to need to continue to lean on. Want to kind of highlight some of the players from last night's game and talk about one in particular is our SRM Concrete solid performer, Kingston McQueen. 16 carries, almost 120 yards or so, 3 touchdowns, and had a reception, I think, as well. Played on defense. That's a kid who's out there on just about every snap.
Yeah, Kingston's a coach's dream. He's on kickoff. He's at safety, he's at running back, he can catch the ball, and the biggest thing I can say about him is he has tremendous character. He's in my class, he's engaged in class, asks great questions. His mom's an educator. His youngest brother is actually one of my oldest son's closest friends, and so Kingston's, one that I'm really proud of. I'm really proud to coach him, and he came to me a few weeks ago and just said, "Coach, what can I improve on? How can I be better?" And I think he took to heart, what was said in that conversation. And I know Kingston is a team first guy. Really proud of, I think he would say, he's really proud of his offensive line. Really proud of those that he's around on defense as well. And I tell you, Brian, our defense posted a shutout last night. Laverne does a lot of, things on offense, a lot of different formations, spread some linemen out at times. And I thought our defensive coaches, Coach Waite, and our defensive staff did a great job of making sure, our guys were ready. Thought we executed in special teams, put our offense in good situations that, allowed Kingston and some others, the ability to have some success.
Well, Kingston McQueen, our SRM Concrete solid performer, and SRM Concrete, locally grown, nationally known, SRM Concrete, bringing you the highlight this morning. Stewart's Creek football coach Ben Caudill joins us here today. I want to go back to that shutout thing. I don't care who the opponent is on the other side. Their entire goal is to beat you.
Yep. And
to not allow any points. Like I said, I don't care who it is you're talking about. That's something that you can hang your hat on.
It is, and I'm proud of the defensive side of the ball. I'm really proud of just how some guys like Jonathan Hadley, and Gabriel Gomar, those are 2 seniors, that did not start until they were seniors, and they've come on and competed their tails off and been team leaders. And I thought Jonathan Hadley had his best game last night, and that means a lot to me to see a senior have success that's poured his whole heart into the program, and has that heart of a senior, and has something invested in the community and in the locker room and in the team they're playing for. And so it's really encouraging to see those things. It's encouraging to see guys get after it and execute kind of against a very different offense that we saw last night. And every week's a different challenge schematically, but I'm really proud of the effort that the defense put forth last night.
21-0 after the first quarter, so it was a big start, and boy, that helps a lot of things too, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, especially when your special teams is involved as well. I think our biggest thing was, we really had success at times against Riverdale, but I think we had 12 penalties, the most that we've ever been penalized, and so we had a lot to clean up. And this week, although Laverne posed plenty of challenge, I really felt like we needed to compete more so against ourselves this week, and just kind of fix a lot of things that we have control over, if that makes sense. And so I thought we were able to do that, and going to have to be the case again this week.
When your offense can post over 360 total yards too, but it was fairly equal. You probably are want to run more than pass, but when those things work.
Yeah, I think we got some good looks last night. That we felt good about, and nothing's ever perfect, but we had a snap issue near the goal line that kind of prevented us from putting the game away a little earlier. There were some things I wanted to work on too that probably prevented us from maybe scoring a few other times, but you gotta find times to work things that you need to, and develop, your entire attack on offense, so to speak. But, R.C. Davis has come in doing a great job at quarterback. Very proud of him, proud of the look in his eye, just proud of his mentality and how he's, handled moving from receiver to quarterback. Of course, he was working quarterback before, but, R.C.'s a guy that our entire team's, very proud to, kind of rally behind. Jaden McKnight, Cameron Moore, our offensive line. Sam Bello was back in action last night, did a great job. It helps when you're on the road. I think a run game and a defense travels. And so we were able to get those going last night, and also had some big plays in the passing game as well.
Well, it's always a quick turnaround, but it's going to be an even quicker turnaround. Got kids excited about fall break and things like that too. So weeks like this are probably ones that just as a coach, and just knowing how coaches are, it's one of those, I guess, a little antsy, right? Because you got a one less day and all that kind of thing, playing on a Thursday too.
Yeah, I remember asking Coach Kreisky if we could play on Thursday. It's something that since I've been at Stewart's Creek we've always done, and it's always generated just better gate money. And obviously all the kids are excited to go somewhere over fall break, or just do whatever it is they want to do. And so I appreciate him agreeing to that. You're right, it is a short week, and it's a quick turnaround, but this is something that we all have, the last week of the regular season as well. It's something that we have to deal with now, not just from a fall break perspective, but from an officiating perspective as well. And, it's wild. I still remember, when I got to Stewart's Creek, we weren't playing Blackman, which I couldn't even believe. And, this is kind of a backyard game. We kind of grew out of the growth of Blackman High School, back in 2012, 2013. And so, Coach Kreisky's, obviously, man, they're doing an unbelievable job this year. We've caught them on film a few times, getting ready for Laverne, getting ready for Riverdale, and goodness gracious, just beautiful across the board in all three phases, which you always expect when you coach against Coach Kreisky. And so going to be a tremendous challenge for us. Like you said, quick turnaround. And I know our players know that, while Friday night was great, we're going to have to turn the page incredibly quickly.
Well, that will be one of our featured broadcasts this week. We've got two, Thursday, Friday, and always look forward to coming out to the Creek and just the hospitality, and from start to finish, the game day experience. You're not going to find much any better than at Stewart's Creek. So
yeah, I appreciate you saying that. Coach Mitchell, our AD, man, I what an honor it is to work with him. You know, he's in the middle of, you know, the golf, you know, postseason run as well. And, man, he's so helpful and wants to serve our program and our coaches. And obviously, you know, we're going to treat y'all like royalty when y'all come in and make sure that, you know, everything's laid out and that you're well fed and taken care of. And you know, all the things, Brian, you know, real quick, like just last night, you know, it just with our support and our band, you know, I mean, it felt like a home game just with, you know, it was packed over there, you know, outside the, you know, the bleachers as well. And, man, that's something you can't ever take for granted, is just, you know, how much our program rallies behind our school and community rallies behind our program, how it brings so many great aspects of our school together. You know, Dr. Harrell just, you know, he wants everything to be excellent, you know, and I think that Friday night really, you know, shows that in its true form.
Looking forward to our trip on Thursday night. Coach, have a good week, healthy week of practice, and looking forward to the Thursday night lights.
Yes, sir. We'll see y'all Thursday.
Sounds good. Ben Caudill, the head coach of the Stewart's Creek Redhawks, hosting Blackman Thursday night in our Thursday night lights. Hope you'll join us for that as well. The Coach's Show brought to you in part by Sir Pizza. Their 3 Murfreesboro locations offer a huge selection of mouthwatering pizzas, sandwiches, pastas, and wings. Order your favorite at sirpizzatn.com.
Get ready for an unforgettable night and support First Shot. Autumn at the Alley is coming to Oakland's Mansion Tuesday, September 24th from 6 to 9 p.m. Sip on fine bourbon, wine, and spirits, enjoy premium cigars, and feast on incredible food from the Alley on Main, all while enjoying live music under the stars. Proceeds benefit First Shot's Academic All-Stars and Send the Kid to Camp programs. Find out more on their Facebook page and through Eventbrite. Autumn at the Alley, September 24th.
We're at Rick's Barbecue talking with Anne-Marie Brentz, who says they're ready to feed your entire crew with the family pack.
It's a pound of pork or any of our pulled meats, and then you get 2 16-ounce sides, and then you get a bag of chips, which are plain or barbecue, and then the buns come with it, and then you get one of our drink choices, which is either a 2-liter of one of our sodas or a half-gallon of one of our teas.
And don't forget the famous Rick's Loaded Baked Potato.
That's the biggest potato you can get. They're right at 2 pounds.
Let Rick's Barbecue do the cooking. 212 Warrior Drive.
You've changed thousands of diapers, played hours of peekaboo and duck, duck, goose. You'd do anything to protect your kids. I'm State Farm Agent Celeste Middleton, and it's important to protect them with life insurance. I can make it easy and affordable for you to protect your family.
What's your next dream? Paying off your credit card? Remodeling your kitchen? Whatever your dreams, they take planning. I'm State Farm Agent Dana Womack. Let's work together to come up with a plan to make those savings goals happen. Call me at 615-900-0877.
Hey there, it's Brian, and I wanted to share just one reason why I've been a customer of First National Bank of Middle Tennessee for years. What I love most is how they're always there for me, no matter what I need. You know, I know I'm not just another number. When I have a question, I can count on getting a real answer from a real person who knows me and my financial goals. They're always showing up for me, and they can for you too.
First National Bank of Middle Tennessee. We show up for you.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 401715.
Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance takes great pride in treating local athletes here in Rutherford County. Experts in joint, bones, and muscles. And with over 65 specialists, TOA has a playbook to get you back in the game. To request an appointment, visit TOA.com or call 855-NEED-TOA. Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance. TOA. Live your best life.
Quick, convenient, efficient. 3 words that we all hope to experience when we do business. Our goal at JHA Company is to bring just that to an industry that's traditionally dictated to the customer when it's time to do business. Whether you're purchasing class pictures in a yearbook, class jewelry, a letter jacket, school spirit wear, or senior graduation products, we strive to make the experience quick, convenient, and efficient. Find out more at jhacompany.com. JHA, your one source for an unparalleled scholastic experience.
It's the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coach's Corner. Fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's on 1019 100.5, 1450 WGNSsports.com and Big G TV.
Coach's Show is brought to you by State Farm agents Andy Womack, Dana Womack, Celeste Middleton, Alex Williams, Ron Reeves, and Emerson Williams. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. A look at your Jennings and Ayers Funeral Home scoreboard and the schedule for the week to come. Last night, Oakland 32, Blackman nothing. Rockville a winner 21-14 over Siegel. Stewart's Creek gets the victory at Laverne 35-0. Riverdale in their homecoming, a 41-7 winner over Columbia, and Smyrna 40, Coffee County 7. Richland beats Eagleville 37-7. MTCS a win at Johnson City against Providence Academy 28-21. And PCA defeated Franklin County 38-15 on Thursday night. So speaking of Thursday nights, we've got a lot of games on Thursday, including the next game up for the Rockville Rockets, and that's with the Oakland Patriots. But we're going to talk about last night's game, which was a 21-14 win over the Siegel Stars. James Counts joins us this morning. Coach, congrats on the region win last night.
Well, thank you, sir.
It was a heck of a game. It came down to the very last second, didn't it?
It did. It's kind of back and forth. We kind of got up, and Siegel did a great job of fighting back, and it came down right to the last minute right there, and we lucky enough to get them stopped there on fourth down, and that's kind of something that we've been looking for is, even though we still hadn't played our best game, and just finding a way to win, that's big for where our kids are right now and our culture, developing that, and very proud of them for being able to do that. But yeah, good game, and Coach Renshaw does a great job, and hats off to them, of staying after it and finding a way to give themselves a chance, and we were just a little more fortunate than they were.
You were up 21-0, if I'm correct in remembering the scores from last night.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Then Siegel scores, and then they score again, and they've got the ball and coming down the field in fourth quarter. And sometimes maybe the mentality in the past has been, well, here they come. There's no way to stop this train. That's part of that culture shift that you've been working on, right?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. We've had some moments throughout the year so far that we've shown some of that, and we've come back in games and we've tied them up, and but we hadn't been able to get over the hump, and I think that just shows our kids, kind of where our growth is, and leading into each week, knowing that there's going to be ups and downs in a game, and being able to have the mental focus and maturity to handle that situation. I think our guys are getting settled in on that.
I was just sitting here thinking, we talk to the coaches every Saturday morning, and, every time that somebody plays you guys, I always hear them say, man, that number 3 he is the man. He's a beast, and they're talking about RC, of course. He has really been a shot in the arm for you guys.
He sure has. He's a very competitive young man, and he's extremely athletic. And he's I think we're just now starting to get a little bit of togetherness or continuity between each other. As far as Hamby and him, and learning our stuff, but no, he's a we played him last night. We played him on defense too. Play corner, so he punts, he can kick. He can play quarterback. He can throw the football. He's just an all-around, good athlete and can do a lot of different things. But, I think the best is still yet to come, just because of some of the things. I think we left some things out there. I still feel like that. And so, knowing that, I hope that, as we get through the year here, hopefully here, we'll start playing, our best football, and I still don't think we have. We have played really good at times, but we hadn't played consistent enough yet, or to where I think we can be.
We want to highlight R.C. Chia as our SRM Concrete solid performer. Last night, 8 receptions for 121 yards, 3 touchdowns. You mentioned he played on defense. Coach, he punted for you, had almost a 50-yard average on punts. And, you know, you recognize as a coach when you've got an athlete like that, you want him on the field just about every snap. And it's hard to do, to be out there, but he's out there in all 3 phases of the game for you.
Yeah, ran a fake punt last night and got that converted. You know, the one thing that, you know, they had a run in the second half there, you know, that would have put them, that would have tied it. And he hustles across the field and gets down there and gets the kid knocked out of bounds. You know, just a hustle play, you know, selfless and wanting to do everything he can for the football team. But that was that kind of tells you about what kind of kid he is.
Yeah. Rockville's James Counts with us, and recognizing R.C. Chia as our SRM Concrete solid performer, locally grown, nationally known SRM Concrete. You brought up Jonathan Hamby a second ago. Passed for 185 yards, 15 of 24, had 3 touchdown passes. And, you know, he seems to be catching his stride, getting better and better, more confident, settling in. I mean, there aren't a lot of people that want to play Rockville, especially now that he seemed to catch fire.
Yeah, you know, I think that's part of the guys learning each other and being able to, you know, he's a little banged up right now, and just which shows the toughness of this kid, and you know, so he's working through that. So, you know, he hadn't been at his best, and so, you know, we feel like, you know, there's still the best is yet to come, but he's solid. He's a competitor. You know, he's a very smart young man, makes good decisions, and you know, he's trying to get over this little issue that he has. But you know, he'll get there, and he's tough as nails. You know, he got hit last night, and it bothered him, but you know, he pushed through and was able to finish, and you know, this is going to be something that we're going to have to deal with, but eventually he'll get over it, we hope.
A lot of people this time of the year, Coach, after 6 games, you've got dings and dents, and you know it takes a toughness to play this game of football. I don't care what position you play.
It does, you know, and if you play the way we want to play, and that's being physical, you're going to have things. You know, you're not going to be your best after the first game of the year. You know, you're not going to feel your best, and there's going to be things you have to work through. You know, and there's a difference between something that's kind of banged up and an injury. You know, that's some things that we have had to learn, and you know, guys are getting tougher with that, and you know, but now if you're going to be physical and play in this league, you're going to have things like that you've got to be mentally tough enough to work through.
Well, to hold a pretty good offense in Siegel to just 14 points, it takes a lot of effort. We had one critical turnover in the game, and that was Jeremiah Chandler's 45-yard interception return.
You know, that was a big part of, you know, moment there. You know, kind of where we stubbed our toe offensively. He returned it down. We got a chance to, you know, kind of put this thing away. And we got to finish. You know, we got to take that next step, take care of the football, do the little things that we talk about. But our defense has played really well all year, and you know, at times offensively we've kind of left them out there a little bit too long. You know, and that happens. But you know, like I said, I think that you know, we're coming together more as a team and learning each other, and you know, but both sides of the football, hopefully here pretty soon, we're going to put us a game together and play to our capabilities. But our defense staff and our defensive players, you know, our guys up front, they're playing more physical. The guys in the secondary are getting more comfortable with each other and making adjustments and checks and everybody getting on the same page. And, that's a big part of it is the communication and what you've worked that week and being able in a quick situation there, be able to communicate that and everybody operate together. And they've done a good job of doing that with some young kids, So, we're excited about that.
Coach Counts, speaking of short week this week, traveling to Oakland, and if you wanted a measuring stick, you got one, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's we're gonna get ready to play. Like I said, we don't feel like that we've played our best game or ball yet, and we're gonna go over there and see what we can get done, and try to hang around, and you never know. That's why you play the game. But now we're excited for the opportunity, and kind of want to go over and get kind of see where we stand. And Coach Creasy and those guys do a great job, and they've been getting after people, and we kind of want to see where we measure up, and go over and see how it comes out. We're excited about it.
Yeah. Well, that's on Thursday night, and then we've got fall break the following week after that game. The following week, got a little break for ourselves and for the coaches and all that kind of thing. But we'll hopefully talk to you next Saturday morning or somebody there and talk about Rockville football, and good luck against the Oakland Patriots on the road on Thursday night, Coach.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys.
Absolutely. James Counts, the head coach of the Rockville Rockets, joining us here, and Danny Brewer is going to take over and take us the rest of the way with Siegel, Eagleville, and then MTCS Cougar Corner as the Coaches Show rolls along here on a Saturday morning. This portion brought to you by Dan France Concrete, a licensed and insured residential and commercial concrete construction contractor serving Middle Tennessee. That's Dan France Concrete.
This is a paid legal ad.
At the law offices of John Day, we take only real cases that make a real difference.
The law offices of John Day took the burden really off of my shoulders.
So if you think you're going to get rich quick with a frivolous case, I'm not the lawyer for you.
I want you to know that I appreciate everything you have done so much. I know you went over and beyond.
If we're not able to help or aren't the right lawyer for you, we'll do the best to point you in the right direction. If you've been injured, call the law offices of John Day for a free consultation.
Hello, this is Coy Young at Las Casas Feed Supply. We'd like to welcome you to our door and hope you find the customer service and expertise that exceeds your expectations.
Las Casas Feed Supply caters to all homeowners with a quarter acre to several acres, focusing on premium feeds and dog foods you won't find in box stores.
Nutrition is our specialty here at Las Casas Feed.
And yes, you can even get milk from the MTSU dairy at Las Casas Feed Supply, the best milk in town. Las Casas Feed on Barlow Lane, just off Highway 96 East in Las Casas.
If you're near retirement or thinking about retiring, you probably have a lot of questions. How do you make your savings last? You're ready for retirement, but are your finances? Let's work together to help ensure your finances can keep up with your unique needs over the long haul. I'm Edward Jones financial advisor Lee Colvin. Stop by our office in the Public Shopping Center on South Rutherford Boulevard or give us a call at 615-907-7056 for an appointment. Edward Jones, Making Sense of Investing, member SIPC.
Rely on the experienced professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air.
Whether it's the blazing heat of summer or the bitter cold of winter, let the Rheem Pro professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Conditioning on West College Street keep your home or business comfortable year-round. We service all major brands and in most cases offer same-day service. Call us today at 615-890-1311. Prentice Allsup Heating and Air, your Rheem Pro partner heating and cooling contractor on West College Street, just under the Thompson Lane overpass.
Choosing the right insurance can be overwhelming. That's where Rick Hall at Rayburn Insurance comes in. At Rayburn, we're not just about policies, we're about people. Rick Hall will take the time to understand your needs and find the best coverage at the best price. We've been serving our community since 1973. So why not let Rick Hall take the stress out of insurance? Rick Hall at Rayburn Insurance Agency. where you're more than just a policy number. You're our neighbors.
It's the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coach's Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's on 1019 100.5, 1450 wgnssports.com and Big G TV.
Sir Pizza, whose 3 Murfreesboro locations offer a huge selection of mouthwatering pizzas, sandwiches, pastas, and wings. Order your favorite pizza online at sirpizzatn.com. Danny Brewer, we're back with you now. Extremely pleased. We've got Siegel Mastermind Adam Renshaw across the table from us. Coach, how are you this morning?
Certainly don't feel like a mastermind, but I appreciate it.
Well, you know, Coach, the thing about it is, I was just talking with Floyd Walker about this. You know, as a coach, you do what you do. You prepare, you work your tail off, you got this game plan, everything looks like it's going to be great, but then it comes down to execution. And the kids have to do it, and it's one of those things where sometimes it doesn't always work out the way you want it to.
Yeah, well, you know, and at the end of the day, it's my job to have them ready, and I think it's always important that I own that and realize that going into every ball game and at the end of every ball game. When it turns out well, there's a lot of people that want to pat you on the back. Well, you know, the opposite of that is true. And, you know, you got to own that as a coach. And I felt like last night I needed to have them ready to play, and I should have done a better job.
Well, last night, come up a little bit short, 21-14 at Rockville, big region game. Let's talk a little bit about it. I think they jumped out on you guys, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. They were up 21-0. We had uncharacteristically, we had a few defensive busts, and they had a great game plan, got up on top of us, and man, they got some really good players too. You know, I think the quarterback played really well. Had 2 receivers played really well, and then we look up, it's 21-0, and we're fighting like crazy to get back in the ball game.
Because defensively speaking, I mean, you guys have been pretty daggum good this year.
Oh, yeah. And, you know, we were last night also. Holy cow, Mason Grissom played an outstanding game at inside linebacker, forced a fumble, had over 10 tackles. Another great game by Nate Hand. Delvion Ewing at corner played really well. We had a guy, William Santel comes off the bench, makes a huge interceptions, makes some huge tackles in the game. It's just, trying to get caught up from our mistakes in the first quarter.
And so, realistically, when you think about it, I mean, if you take the first quarter away, was it 21-0 at after the first quarter at the half?
I believe at the first quarter. We scored 7 in the second quarter.
Okay.
So it's 21-7 at halftime.
So after the first quarter, it's 14-0 Siegel. I mean, you got to be pleased at least with 3 quarters played, but it's a 4-quarter game.
Well, we kind of played our typical scrappy brand of football after that. You know, I mean, it's not clean, it's not pretty, but we play good special teams, good defense, and we kind of grind you out offensively. Honestly, I thought we may have played our best offensive game last night. I thought Justin Rimkus had a good game at quarterback. Braylon Albee had a tremendous game at running back, had some big runs. And, 5 minutes left. 1 minute left in the ball game. We're inside the 5-yard line trying to tie the ball game.
Well, Coach, I mean, you got to be pleased with the fight that your team had because, like I said, down 21-0 in the first quarter, and then you still were right there at the end of the game with a chance to tie it up and maybe send it into overtime.
Yeah, 100%. And I think and we were playing for overtime. We felt like, we wanted to get there. The lesson is, in this league, you always got to step on the field ready to play. And, I don't know that we I don't know that we weren't exactly unprepared, but I definitely think, we had some mental busts that cost us at the beginning of the ball game.
Well, let's talk a little bit about Braylon Albee, a Smyrna Ready mix, solid performer of the game. I think he had both your touchdowns, right?
Yes,
one
sir.
Receiving and one rushing.
Yes.
So what class is that kid?
Oh, he's a senior.
He's a senior.
Yeah.
Senior leader, obviously, for the team, and I got to be proud of him and what he's doing.
Oh, he's grown up so much in our program, and just this year he's come into it with the right frame of mind, shown tremendous leadership. He showed tremendous leadership last night, and, and he a kid that's went through some heartbreak and fighting through some struggles, and, he's just a tremendous example of a quality man in our program.
Coach, let's talk a little bit about your line, the guys in the trenches. I know you got one really large kid. He's a junior, I think, and he's done I watched him whenever I saw you guys play. I've kind of focused in on him and done a really good job, and the kid's really developing.
Hard not to see him.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah.
No, Princeton Wafo, tremendous, and you watched the film before coming in here this morning. He had a tremendous game last night, as did our left guard, Bennett Morris, our center, Ryan Bradley's fighting through some injury. But, no, you're right. Princeton, I mean, he's just a dude. And, there's a lot of times there's no secret where we're going, and a lot of the game plans reflect his ability. And, the coolest thing about Princeton, though, is he's such a humble kid, and he's such a hardworking kid. He's got a big heart. Tremendous family, and it's fun to watch Princeton play football.
Well, you're absolutely right. It's hard not to see him because, I mean, when you before the game, if you're seeing the warm-ups, all that stuff, and you're like, whoa, this kid's a mountain, but he plays like a mountain too.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, when you watch him, like, he moves. He's agile. He's got great hip bend. He's what a lot of these guys look for to play football on Saturday, but again, even more than his football ability, he's just a great kid, and he loves his teammates. There's absolutely no ego to the kid, and he's really turning into a leader on our football team.
And he's a junior, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, that's a really good thing about him.
Yes, sir. Amen.
Okay, so Coach, let's turn the page a little bit. You still got your destiny in your own hands, I feel like, because lots of region games to play still. So let's talk about what you got coming up. This week is a non-region game. You step out of region this Thursday. Clarksville's at home or away?
That is home, and it's a quick game. We play on Thursday night. There's a 7:30 kickoff to allow for travel. It's a big game. And, the thing is we got to there's several lessons to be learned from this football game. And we're at a point, going into week 7 that, football teams that are mature don't stop growing. And I think the danger with football teams this time of year is they say, well, we kind of are what we are, and we're going to ride this thing out. And, my challenge to our football team and our football community is, hey, we got a good football team here. And like you said, our destiny's in front of us right here. Let's go to work on it. And we got some exciting football games left to play. And honestly, I can't wait to leave here and go to work on it.
Well, new week, new challenge, right?
Amen.
Because you have to, and that's one of the things I think you're right. It can get lost in the shuffle where people think, well, we are, but you don't have to be.
Yeah. Well, football season never ends now.
You're right. You're absolutely, that's absolutely true.
And so, it takes a lot of mental toughness to stay plugged in throughout a football season. Now, I think back when I played, we worked out, but we didn't. It wasn't a 365-day deal, and I think in Rutherford County, it most certainly is. And so, I think it's important that you have kids that are bought in, not just to your football program, but bought into football and understand the rigors and understand what goes on in a 6A football season. And I mean, it's, I'm not worried about our guys because I feel like we got quality men and they've been through this before, but we definitely have to come in and learn from the film and get better from this.
Competitive nature of this district, quality men, I think you're absolutely right. That's one of those things where it can help you grow these young men into good adults, correct?
100%, and I mean, if you watch our film, last night our kids had tremendous character. I mean, we had 2 huge goal line stands. We had an interception in the end zone, and there was a fumble into the end zone that we forced and recovered. And, I would, don't get me wrong, I'm heartbroken. I would have liked to have played better football last night, but also I know I got kids I can depend on.
And that means a lot. And so from all these things you're telling me, you can't be super disappointed. You fought back, all these positives. So now it's just time to build off those positives as you head into a non-district game of Clarksville, because even though it's non-district, it still can be a huge building block.
Yeah, no doubt. And, I think the tough thing as a coach is so many people are working so hard. I watched our band last night. Our band's got a huge band competition on our campus today, and they worked all afternoon. They got on a bus. They came and cheered us on, and then, man, I get there at 7 o'clock this morning, and they're out there working again, and so there's just you never want to let people down. And, as a coach, that the group you mainly don't want to let down is your kids. And so, our job is to go in there and teach them how to be men this week and do the best we can, get a win Thursday night.
Some of the beauty of high school football, you mentioned the band. I mean, that's one of the things I love about high school football is, the band's playing and there's all this spirit.
Hanging there with us, and we got a lot of positive people. And, again, the tough part on me is I hate feeling like I've let anybody down. But I'm going to keep fighting. These boys are going to keep fighting. These coaches are going to keep fighting. And, we're going to enjoy another football game Thursday night.
Coach Renshaw, you're not letting anybody down because you got your heart in it. You're doing the right things. The stars are shining at Siegel. If you want to see a good football game, head over there Thursday night, 7:30 kickoff.
7:30.
So that gives you a little bit of extra time to get on over and enjoy some Siegel Stars football. Coach, we appreciate your time. Wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
The Coaches Show is brought to you by Ideas Tees, who will be happy to help you fulfill all of your imprinted apparel, embroidery, and advertising specialty needs. Find out more at ideastees.com.
Head over to J. Mullins Jewelry to check out their selection of rings, watches, custom designed jewelry, and much more. They're a local business located at 352 West Northville Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro. They have gifts for all occasions, weddings, graduations, anniversaries, whatever you need, you can find it at J. Mullins Jewelry. That's at 352 West Northville Boulevard or online at mullinsjewelry.com.
Craig's Tax Service.
We perform tax preparation, individual tax returns, corporations, partnerships, and all your payroll bookkeeping needs.
Brett Craig with Craig's Tax Service.
Craig's Tax Service is located just off Memorial on Heritage Park Drive. You can contact us at 890-2233.
It makes sense to get help with your taxes. Call 890-2233 for an appointment.
We are proud to support all Rutherford County student athletes.
Craig's Tax Service, 890-2233.
At Dr. Automotive in Smyrna, from oil changes to major engine and transmission repairs, we've got the cure for your car. Let's hear from customers of Dr. Automotive.
He does a good job. He lets you know what's going on and doing it at a good price.
Danny does a lot in our community, so he's very involved and invested.
I recommend family, friends. Danny is spot on because he'll suggest what I need to do, and of course, I've never had an issue.
For quality care you can trust, visit Dr. Automotive in Smyrna. We've got the cure for your car.
For 27 years, Kenneth Barrett has proudly served the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office and now asks for your vote for sheriff. He started at age 20 as a detention officer, working his way through patrol, narcotics, and interstate crime operations. He's led specialized teams while keeping transparency and fairness at the forefront. Kenneth Barrett as sheriff means proven leadership you can trust to keep our community safe.
I'm Kenneth Barrett, running for Rutherford County Sheriff, and I'd appreciate your vote.
Paid for by Kenneth Barrett for Sheriff, Treasurer Jan Stewart.
Clark's Auction Company will get you top dollar for your property.
Auctions are easy, fast, and profitable.
Whether you're buying or selling a home or commercial property, the auction is just so much easier, quicker, smoother.
My wife and I sold our personal home. Parks Auction helped us with that. The house brought about 20% more than we were going to ask for.
Visit parksauction.com.
Clark's Auction Company will get you top dollar for your property.
Clark's Auction Company, committed to auction excellence.
Sold it to you, 27.5.
You've heard people say, you know your work by your name, but there's no better name for residential and business concrete work than Dan France Concrete. From basic slabs to decorative stamping, for your next concrete project, call Dan France Concrete, 615-642-5152.
This is Dan with Dan France Concrete, wishing all Rutherford County student athletes a great season. Study hard, play harder, and be safe.
Trust me, Dan is committed to the community and will offer you a great product. He'll stand
the lines that link us all, illuminating our neighborhoods, empowering our businesses, and helping us to recharge. Because we believe in the power of good energy. Whether it comes from our grids, the sun, or a kind heart. And as your family and our region continue to grow, you can trust that we'll always be there for you. Middle Tennessee Electric, bringing good energy.
It's the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coach's Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's on 1019 100.5, 1450 wgnssports.com and Big G TV.
The Coach's Show is brought to you by Craig's Tax Service, specializing in personal and business tax preparation, financials, and bookkeeping services. Find out more at craigstaxservice.com. Danny Brewer here, extremely pleased to be across the table from Mr. Floyd Walker, head football coach at Eagleville High School. Coach Walker, how are you this morning?
Hey, man, I'm surviving, man. I'm surviving. Appreciate you guys having us on.
Well, no, always happy to have you, Floyd. I mean, because, you know, man, you're an icon of Middle Tennessee football world. I mean,
let's not even go down that road, bro. Huh?
All right. Well, let's talk a little bit about last night. Tough loss on the road. You were at Richland. Right. Where is Richland? Tell folks that don't know where Richland.
Yeah, it's in Giles County. It's the same place as Pulaski, Tennessee. Just if you're going down 65, you get off on the exit, and it's a couple of miles off the interstate. But ran into Richland last night. I thought they were prepared. I thought Coach Patterson had his team excited to play, and you know, on the flip side of things, I don't think I had our group ready to play or nor excited about play.
So region game. Richland is a region game, right?
Yeah, it was a region, and now it drops us to 1-1 in the region. So I don't know where it puts us in the standings and everything, but still got a long road to go. Still got a lot of region game left to play, and still got a lot of football to play.
So you have been pretty good offensively coming into last night. Last night didn't necessarily get. So let's talk a little bit about what has happened offensively for you guys. One of the things that's made. I think one of the things we want to talk about is the Smyrna Ready Mix solid performer, Jonathan Jordan. 11 carries, 118 yards. So, I mean, obviously that kid is flat getting after.
Jonathan's had a super year so far. I think that puts him somewhere around 600, maybe close to 700 yards rushing. And we've ran the ball extremely well all year, and we did some good things last night. We just keep shooting ourselves in the foot, and we can't finish drives, whether it be a blown assignment, whether it be a penalty. We had the ball down in the red zone several times. Just came away with no points, and that's unfortunate because that's kind of been the MO this year, that where we have drives but we don't sustain them and we don't finish. So we got to get back into finishing thing.
So, Coach, when you talk about shooting yourself in the foot, I know that's one of the things that can be frustrating because there are certain things that you feel like are correctable mistakes, and certain things that are not correctable mistakes. You know, when you get a bad bounce, whatever, a kid makes a big play, whatever. The correctable mistakes where you don't make stupid penalties as far as
a block in the back because kids are giving effort, and I'm good with that. But self-inflicted wounds, things that you can control, or what we call controllables. I mean, we've got to clean some of that stuff up, and I believe our kids will.
Okay, Coach, let's talk a little bit about defense. Right. Now we gave up a few more points than 1 or 2 last night, but you have been pretty good on defense too.
We've been extremely, pleased with the way we played defensively. Things didn't go our way. I mean, we could not. When you play football, there's two things that we like to hang our hat on. We like to hang our hat on stopping the run, and we like to hang our hat on running the football. And we didn't get either of those accomplished last night. But again, there's some things that weren't characteristic of us defensively last night, and there's some things that weren't characteristic of us offensively. So we gotta go back. We gotta not necessarily go change anything. We just got to get locked in mentally.
So, Coach, let's talk about the trip to Richland. I mean, a true road game because, I mean, you're, hour and a half trip?
Somewhere in that neighborhood, yeah.
Because, a lot of the schools that play in the 6A district, they don't really have – I mean, they have road games, but it's like 15 minutes down the road.
Oh, yeah. It's like
the challenge of preparing for something like that.
I mean, but the thing about it is we do that on a regular basis. And when you're at a small rural school playing single A football, sometimes your closest opponents are going to be somewhere between 45 to an hour and a half away. And our kids have made bus trips before. I don't think the bus trip had anything to do with it. I think you just tip your cap to a well-coached, well-prepared Richland football team that was excited about playing on their homecoming. and they just outplayed us.
So, Coach, let's talk a little bit about, you mentioned rural school. I know that there are some newer programs at Eagleville. There's a soccer program now and all that stuff.
Just started soccer.
Is that stuff good overall for football and everything? Because when you grow the your sports sphere, so to speak, is that good for you guys, you think?
Yeah, anything that you do that provides kids an opportunity to participate or to belong to something is good, not only for school football, but it's also good for the kids, because it gives them an opportunity to get out there, make a name for themselves, do some things that maybe might be out of their comfort zone, and gives them an opportunity to build different relationships. So I firmly believe that athletics helps all kids, so whether it's football, soccer, basketball, baseball. If a kid's involved in athletics, it can only enhance his future.
So, Coach,
or her future,
his or her, right? And that's a good thing. I mean, because Eagleville, the community has grown and it's still growing, and I mean the growth of the area. A good help for the program too, you feel like?
It is. I mean, our numbers for a 1A school are probably well above the norm. I mean, we're somewhere around 53, 55 kids, somewhere in that neighborhood, and the typical single A school that we play against is somewhere around 35 or 40. But it's growing, and it's growing not only from a student population, but it's growing as far as sports goes. With take soccer for instance. I think we had a big turnout for middle school girls soccer this fall. And I see the middle school boys soccer team out conditioning right now, and they seem to have an extremely large number of kids. So it's growing as far as all facets of our place goes.
So, Coach, let's talk a little bit about what's coming up this week. I want to, obviously, being that you're a thoroughbred, I like to talk about thoroughbred racing when we speak. So
good transition.
Yeah. So the ACAC today at Churchill Downs, 1 turn mile race. It's a big race on the calendar because a lot of these horses will go on to the Breeders' Cup if they win. Most Wanted. He's the morning line favorite, 6-5. When you talk about coming home this week, you play at home this week. You host Moore County, another big region game.
Right.
What is most wanted for Floyd Walker and the Eagleville Eagles when you think about coming home this coming Friday?
The most thing about it is we just got to take care of Eagle. We just got to go back and get back to being Eagleville. We can't worry about what Moore County does or what they're going to do. We got to make sure we're locked in, and we just take, as you would put it, we just got to take care of home. That's what we got to do. And if we can take care of home, we'll have a good night on Friday night.
Not only at single A, but I think at all levels of high school football, oftentimes is it more about winning the game and not losing the game, because you talked about the mental mistakes and all that kind of stuff, and you just want to make the other team beat you?
That's what you always want to do. You want to make sure that you don't help them. You don't want to help anybody. If you have an opportunity to put points on the board, then you got to put points in the board. You don't want to help somebody by not doing that, and we've done that, unfortunately, on a couple of occasions, and sometimes it went in our favor, sometimes it didn't, and it didn't go in our favor last night.
So, Coach, talk a little bit about some of the leadership, because obviously as a coach you put a lot of weight on your shoulders,
right?
But at the end of the day, the kids have to perform on the field. So talk about some of the leadership you've got on the field and some of your seniors and some of those kids and what you're looking for.
I think we got a great group of seniors. Okay, I think they'll rally this group. I mean, there's people like Dylan Harrington, Mason Sear, Crimson Armstrong, Parker Futrell, and I know David Harrison, Jed Fan. There's several kids out there. You're always going to leave out some, so I just name a few of them. But they all know that the senior class is important to what we get done for the remainder of this season. And I think our seniors will be, I think they'll bounce back. History has proven that we'll always bounce back, so I believe that they'll do that this coming week.
So you mentioned early a lot of football play, and it's very, very true. So you still hold your own destiny.
We do.
Right in front of you.
Right. We do. And that's the whole thing about it is one game don't define you, okay? And all we need to do is make sure that we understand that, hey, this is what happened. This is what don't need to happen. Let's move forward from it, and let's bounce it back, and let's go on to the next game.
Well, my world history teacher back in high school, Mr. Al Wilkerson, super sharp guy, he said, history doesn't repeat itself. People repeat history. So you need to learn from it, right?
Yeah, you do. You really do. And that's the whole thing about it. You've got to remember what that feeling was like. You've got to remember the things that you did that didn't allow you us to be successful. And you got to think about what you need to get done that's going to allow the whole group to be successful. And that's not only from, from a player standpoint, that's from a coaching standpoint, that's from every aspect of our program. So we'll get back to trying to get all those things cleaned up on Monday.
Well, I got a good feeling that it's a safe bet that Eagle will be ready next Friday night when they host Moore County. So if you want to see some good football next Friday night, head out to Eagle, see Moore County. WGNS Radio, I think, will be there, Coach, if you let them. And
yeah, we're going to have to discuss the radio showing up. I don't know if John Dinkins and Brian know how to find Eagle.
Well, we're going to find that out, Coach. Hey, Floyd Walker, appreciate your time. Certainly wish you the best of luck.
Appreciate you, Danny.
The Coaches Show is brought to you by State Farm agents Andy Womack, Dana Womack, Celeste Middleton, Alex Williams, Ron Reeves, and Emerson Williams. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
True Blue Raider fans don't settle for just any gear. They shop at Raider Tees, specializing in Middle Tennessee apparel and accessories. No distractions, just pure Blue Raider pride. From t-shirts and hoodies to decals, stadium chairs, and exclusive designs you won't find anywhere else. We've got it all. Stop by 111 East MTCS Road right across from MTCS and gear up today. Raider Tees, bigger, better, and go blue.
Pizza. Murfreesboro's favorite pizza is now hiring at all 3 local locations. That's right. We want you to join the Sir Pizza team. Stop in at our East Main, Veterans Parkway, or Memorial Boulevard locations and let us know how you'd like to join the Sir Pizza family. Also, we've made it even easier to order for carryout or delivery. Just head on over to sirpizzatn.com. Sir Pizza, you made me love pizza again.
Rely on the experienced professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air.
If your old unit needs a tune-up, the professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air service all major brands and even offer same-day service in most cases. Keep your home or business comfortable year-round. Call us today at 615-890-1311. Prentice Allsup Heating and Air, your Ring Pro partner heating and cooling contractor on West College Street, just under the Thompson Lane overpass. Online at PrenticeAllsup.com.
Craig's Tax Service.
We perform tax preparation, individual tax returns, corporations, partnerships, and all your payroll bookkeeping needs.
Brandon Craig with Craig's Tax Service.
We fulfill all your tax preparation needs from individual returns to corporations and handle any of those scary letters you may get from the IRS.
Craig's Tax Service at 142 Heritage Park Drive. Call 890-2233 for an appointment.
We're proud to support all Rutherford County athletes.
Craig's Tax Service, 890-2233.
It's time to talk about Middle Tennessee Christian School sports. It's MTCS Cougar Corner, presented by Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance. Each week we sit down with the coaches to recap the latest games and preview what's ahead. It's time to talk about the orange and white on MTCS Cougar Corner, right here on WGNS and Big G TV. Stay tuned, the show is coming up right after this message from our sponsors.
Middle Tennessee Christian School, training for eternity.
The large majority of our kids are involved in athletics or extracurricular activities, one or the other, and most are doing multiple activities.
MTCS President Matt Tiller.
And that's a great preparation for life. How many of us in our life are just doing one thing? So a well-rounded student is a huge deal.
Invest in your child's future in a Christ-centered environment with many athletic and extracurricular choices.
Without a doubt, our students have the opportunity to be involved in multiple activities.
To find out more, visit mtcscougars.org.
Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance takes great pride in treating local athletes here in Rutherford County. Here's Dr. Russell McKissick with TOA.
We have a passion here for taking care of our athletes here in Rutherford County. We really do our best to take care of them.
Experts in joint, bones, and muscles.
Many years we've been taking care of athletes around here, and we've just picked up where Dr. John started, and we just keep going.
TOA has a playbook that gets you back in the game. To request an appointment, visit TOA.com or call 855-NEED-TOA. TOA, live your best life.
Middle Tennessee Christian School, training for eternity.
People love to see us on the schedule when they have a home game because our fans show up.
MTCS President Matt Tiller.
The way we travel is just phenomenal. Our parents and our community are fully engaged in our school. When we compete, we're trying to do it in a way that honors God. We want to win. We also want to do it in a way that pleases Him.
Providing Christian values and academic excellence in a nurturing environment. That's Middle Tennessee Christian School. Invest in the future of your child. Find out more at mtcscougars.org.
We're back for MTCS Cougar Corner. Presented by Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance and fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's on 1019, 100.5, 1450, wgnssports.com, and Big G TV.
Danny Brewer back with you. Cougar Corner. Hey, what an exciting time. And right now, I'm sitting across the table from the road warrior himself, Middle Tennessee Christian School head football coach Christian Peterson. Coach Peterson, how are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm good. So let's talk a little bit about, when did y'all get home? Because, you were at Johnson City last night. Is that right? Am I right about that?
Yeah. I got into my house at about 3:30 this morning.
3:30 this morning, and here on time and everything. Man, hats off to you, Coach. Man, you're an all-star and a great example for your team with the dedication that you show. And, just getting a little philosophical here, that's very important, is for you to be, because you're the image that your team needs to look to, right?
Absolutely. And I think it's important, if you say you're gonna do something, go do it. And I enjoy coming in. I enjoy being in person. I don't really want to do it on the phone. So anytime I'm in town, I'm definitely gonna be here and talking to you guys and getting a chance to talk about our players.
Well, because, today would have been the opportune moment to say, well, I can't. And oftentimes in society today, I think we're a society of excuse makers. I can't do it. We find reasons to say we can't instead of figuring out ways to do it. You agree with that?
Yeah, for sure. I think it's easier, right? And, in the world we live in, the easy option is generally the one people go with. But, I think we're trying to get it in our kids to understand that life's hard sometimes, right? Like there's going to be things are going to punch you in the face, and it's all about how you respond.
Well, one of my sayings that I use is, it ain't easy being good, and it's not. So let's talk a little bit about some good, and that was last night. Road win, and this was really a road game when you think about, because I guess y'all left on Thursday to go to Johnson City?
Yeah, so we left at 4 o'clock our time. We ended up getting in about 11 o'clock Eastern, getting to the hotel. You never know how they're going to respond to it. We have a lot of guys that weren't on the 23 team, where we did stay in a couple hotels. So for some of them, it was probably their first hotel stay ever. We were very blessed. We got to stay in a nice hotel. And so, I think for a lot of them, it's probably the nicest hotel they've ever stayed in. But you always wonder, like, how is it going to be? How are they going to react to being so off of their routine? They normally have school, and then, like, there's just a routine they go through every day. And, I thought our kids handled it well. I thought they understood that we were going down there to try and win a football game. And, it wasn't easy. There just about everything that could go wrong went wrong. But I told Piercy after the game, I said, we got a scrappy little group of kids, man. Like, they're just going to keep playing. And I'm proud of them. You go really 5.5 hours on the road. You're going into a situation where you don't know much about the team you're playing. You got some film on them, but it's their first year in the league. You don't have those years to fall back on, of where, if you played somebody for 5, 6, 7 times, that, maybe they have this play, they like to try and sneak the tight end out, they have this, whatever, this double pass, whatever it is. Everyone's got that play they like to pull out in a big game. And when you play somebody over and over again, you start to know situations where they like to do it. So even if they haven't run it that year, they got it. So it's just, there's a lot of unknowns, and I thought our kids handled that well.
Certain characteristics. Teams have certain characteristics. Your team has certain characteristics. And that's one of those things where, like you said, you had nothing to go off of. So got to be proud of your kids pulling out a win not knowing who their opponent really is.
Yeah, and I think it's another one. It's our second week in a row that, at one point in the game we have it pretty well in hand. We're throwing the ball well. Had a great week of practice throwing it, and it translated to Friday. We throw for almost 150 in the first half. We come out in the second half, and we're just running it right down their throats. I mean, we're getting 9-10 yards a carry. And we had some fumbles there, and some opportunities that we squandered on ourselves. And it as the game started to kind of go their way, and they started getting all the bounces right, and that's how it is sometimes. You go on the road, and sometimes the home team just gets some bounces, and they did. And shout out to our defense. I mean, they came out and had a game-sealing interception there at the end. They played hard all night. I mean, they forced Providence to completely abandon the run game. And, again, I think our kids just found a way. And we talked about it after the game. Like, look, great teams win. Like, great teams just find a way. They just win. And, it's not always going to be pretty. You're not always going by a lot. It's not everything's going to be perfect. But the great teams figure out a way that when everything went wrong, you still won. And, I think we're getting there. I think we show a lot of flashes of being a really great team. And, obviously things we've got to fix. There's, had a new center in this week. Our starting center's down with an injury right now. Hopefully get him back before the end of the year. I don't know what the role will be, hopefully, but at center, but we'll just got to kind of wait and see. And I thought Madden played well. I thought he did a lot of really good things. But when it's a new center snapping to a running back, there's always the, how's it going to be in a game? And even if it's a good snap, it comes off his hand different than it came off Eli's hand. Like it does. And so, I think some of it's that. It's just, as they continue to play together, it's going to be better. We're going to make some adjustments. We're going to make sure that, what happened last night doesn't happen again. We can't put the ball on the ground 6 times. We just can't. We can't do it.
So you 28-21, you win at Providence. 6 fumbles. Did you lose all 6 fumbles?
Lost 5 of them.
Wow, 5 fumbles, but still won 28-21. That is overcoming adversity. That is a sign of a good team. Let's take a second to talk about the Smyrna Ready Mix. Concrete solid performer of the night was Ali Ben-Gur. Did I say that name right? 18 carries, 209 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Is that right?
Yeah, Ali. Yeah. He played phenomenal. Shout out to the guys up front. In the second half, there were times he's running and not getting touched for 15 yards. They were really moving them. They came out and a different look than what we were expecting. There were times they were basically just engage 8 and they were just sending guys. And, shout out to those guys, just come to the sidelines, figuring it out, seeing what they're doing, and then making our adjustments, early. And they're bringing so many guys. They're bringing more we can block. And so they're getting in Marlowe's face a little bit. And, as that's especially the second quarter, he stood in there and made some big time throws. And really hurt him for sending that many guys. And, to be able to throw it in that pressure is good. To be able to have those big runs when we needed them from Ali were big. Shy and Riley Brown both did a lot of really, really solid stuff that aren't going to show up on the stat sheet offensively. But overall, really proud of our guys. Brought Landry and Roy over, got into a big boy set, and they moved some people. They had to play a lot of snaps. They were starting D tackles, and they came over and played some O-line as well. And, we were able to just lean on them a little bit. And, I think, again, there's a lot of positives in the game. There's some things we got to get better. We got to clean up. But the biggest takeaway I have from it is our guys are going to find a way. They're going to find a way to win it. They're going to find a way to get the result at the end. And, at the end of the day, we're 3-0 in the region. And, we've put ourselves in a good spot.
Absolutely. Finding a way. All this stuff is great, and you're absolutely right. And if I'm not a math genius, but Ali, 209, 18 carries, 209, that's over 10 yards a carry.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I mean, that's just one of those things where you write home about that kind of stuff.
Absolutely. Like I said, the guys up front did a great job, and he's a really good running back. You know, you give him a lane, he's going to make you pay. You know, and it all just kind of builds off each other. You know, we hit Shy on a big one, we hit Malachi on a couple big ones. We got a screen pass to Tripp. He made a heck of a run after catch on it. You know, really kind of all just kind of goes together, and you know, as we keep building, as we keep developing both sides of it, where we can run it, we can throw it, we can really scare some people. Where you're gonna bring 8, we're just gonna throw it over your head. You know, if you're gonna sit back, we're gonna run it on you. You know, and so it was really good to see that start clicking on Friday.
Let's talk a little bit about Marlo Nichols, the quarterback, managing the game and what you expect. What class is he?
He's a sophomore.
Okay, that's what I thought. I thought he was a young kid. So talk about a sophomore and his ability and what he did last night as far as managing the game. Because, you know, when you lay it on the ground 5 times, it's easy to get down. But you depend on guys like him to continue to manage the game and keep things headed in the right direction.
For sure. And, you know, every game he gets a little bit better. And he's got a really bright future. You know, as a quarterback, it would have been really easy. You know, our second drive of the game, I think he gets sacked twice. And, you know, it would have been really easy to just get upset. No, there's bring guys everywhere. I can't get the ball off. And, you know, he just made his adjustments. 1-step drop, got the ball out. 3-step drop, got the ball out. You start throwing the ball on time. You know, he hits a post route where, you know, he scrambles by some time and throws back across his body, you know, 30 yards downfield and hits the receiver in stride. You know, those are big time plays, and those are things that as he continues to develop and continue to get better at, he's going to be another one that's just a really, really good football player for us. And, you know, I'm excited. We got, you know, Ali's a sophomore, Shai's a junior, Riley's a junior, Marlo's a sophomore. You know, we start 2 freshmen up front. And, you know, but they just keep getting better and better and better, and they keep finding a way. And, you know, they're willing to take what the defense has given us. You know, there's some games where, you know, they're going to try and take away the pass. We're going to be able to run the football. There's some games like last night, especially in the first half, where come hell or high water, they're not going to try and let us run it. All right, well, then let's throw the football a little bit. Let's move the ball down the field. And, you know, I'm proud of our guys for being able to just take whatever the defense gives us. You know, we have a lot of talented players. It'd be really easy to complain and wonder, well, why don't I get the ball on this one? Why does he get the ball here? And, you know, our guys they just want to win, you know, whatever it takes to win.
You mentioned the big boy set. You know, I love that brand of football myself, because it's like, hey, here we come. We're going to run the ball, and you're going to have to stop us. So 2 points to this. Number one, you've got the personnel to do a big boy set. And number 2, tell me what how much you love the big boy set and just the power football.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun. You know, when we bring in Roy and Landry, we're bringing in 200-300 plus pounders in there, and you know, it's really it's kind of our mindset package, right? Like, we're going to go out and we're going to let them know that I don't care what you do, we're going to run the football right at you. You can't stop it. And you know, I think our kids really embraced it. The kids are having fun with it. You know, they got a lot of movement up front, and you know, they created holes, and then, you know, credit to our backs for making big plays behind them.
You know, I think that you're right. It's a mindset. That's a mindset scheme and everything. And when you can execute that, it can be demoralizing for the other team.
For sure. Yeah, it's just, you know, it's about going out and saying, like, hey, you know, we're running it right here. We know we're running it right here. You're not going to stop it. And, you know, for a lot of that second half, they didn't. You know, we just, again, if we don't shoot ourselves in the foot, I think it's a different game. But, you know, it's one of those ones where we're 6 hours away from home. Everything went wrong. We found a way to win. Understand what we need to get better at, what we need to fix, and then let's go clean it up. That way it doesn't happen again. But, again, just proud of how our kids kept fighting.
So we've talked a lot about offense. I want to touch on defense a little bit. Absolutely. Because, you know, when you face giving the ball to the other team 5 times, as a defense, sometimes that can be a little demoralizing because you're always on the field. Because, man, we just give it right back to them. So tell me a little bit about your defense and how they responded, and what kind of kids you got over there that you're really proud of.
Yeah, shoot, I mean, all of them. I mean, they forced 3 turnovers themselves. It was we had 2 picks and I want to say it was 2 fumble recoveries, so four turnovers. Eric Bowling interception, 2 forced fumbles. Landry Mason had a recovery. Jake Latimer had a recovery. Had a couple sacks. Had 11 tackles for loss as a team. Had a couple more pass breakups that probably could have gone the other way. But again, they just kept fighting. And Providence Academy is a team we know they want to run the ball and then take shots. And we forced them into a short passing game situation. And so, again, I think our kids executed the game plan perfectly. And then they just kept playing. They just kept finding a way to make the play they needed to make. Eric Bowling led the way with 11 tackles. I mean, he's kind of the engine that makes our defense go, as our Mike. Played really well. 2 forced fumbles, interception, 3 tackles for loss. I mean, he was all over the place last night.
Yes.
Cooper Jones, Malachi White, Riley Brown, Shoe. I mean, Trey Ewell had an interception in the end zone. Again, just finding a way. And then Roy Landry up front, really kind of stifled their inside run game there. I thought our ends did a really good job on all their option stuff coming off the outside. And then we rallied to the football. We had 2, 3, 4 hats making tackles. It wasn't ever just one guy. And that's what it's got to be a good defense. If it's a bunch of one-on-one tackles, like, you're going to miss some every now and then. But if you get a bunch of 3-on-1, 4-on-1 tackles, you're not going to miss many of those. And, I'm proud of how they kept responding. They answered the bell. And, again, some things to clean up there too, for sure. But, offensively, we put them in some bad spots. And, they kept answering the bell, and they kept showing up and going out and making plays. And really proud of them.
4 turnovers forced, 11 tackles for loss. Yes, you should be proud of them. So let's talk about what's coming up. At Clay County. Where is Clay County at?
Salina. Up near Kentucky.
Okay, so that's up near the border. So another road trip. I mean, and we talking real road trip. So tell me how you want to get ready for this week and build off of, because you got a W, and it's always and that's always good.
Yeah, and it's a short week. We're playing on a Thursday. So we'll be back in on Sunday and kind of have our Monday practice on Sunday, and then we'll go Sunday through Wednesday, and then we'll get on the bus and drive again. I think it's important now is, the last 3 games have been region games. It's important to understand that while it's not a region game, like, it's an opportunity to go and clean some things up and get better and keep momentum going. And, Clay County is a good football team. Last I saw, I think they were like top 5 in 1A. Like, they've won 5 straight games. They're another team that's a really scrappy team, plays really hard, and finds a way to win. And so I think it's going to be a good test for us to go out and play them and again, go clean up some of the things we got to clean up and try and go win another football game.
Coach, there's lots of good things happening over at Middle Tennessee Christian School. Not only the football team, but I know, like, volleyball, I think they're in the region tournament this week. Is that right?
Yeah, so there's a 3-way tie for first. I think tiebreakers ended up putting them in third. But, man, they're fun to watch. They're really good. Excited to watch them play. And as they get their postseason started, really looking forward to what they can do.
Because I think Anna Clay Shirley, basketball player too. I think she's a really good volleyball player.
Yeah, I mean there's a ton of them. AC, you've got Jada, Maddie, Addison. I mean you can go down the list. Our volleyball program they're deep, they're talented. They're, like I said, they're a lot of fun to watch. When I got here, I think I'd probably watched 2 volleyball games ever. I knew no rules, and I still don't know a lot of them, but I've definitely learned a lot, and like they're fun to watch. They're talented, and definitely looking forward to this postseason run for them.
So it would be fair to say you're digging volleyball now, right?
yeah, for sure, for sure.
All right, so I know you got cross country going on over there, the tennis. I mean, there's lots of exciting things happening with Middle Tennessee Christian Athletics. Fun place to be, right? And a great atmosphere. Lots of good things happening at Middle Tennessee Christian School.
Absolutely, and I think one of the things that I'm really excited about is how the athletics program's all kind of on the same page. We're all working in the same direction. Football, baseball, softball, volleyball, boys and girls basketball. Everybody's working to get better. Everyone's working to improve. And so it's a lot of fun right now when you get all of us together into a room and talk sports, right? Because there's the X's and O's side of it, but there's so much more to being a coach than just X's and O's. And to be able to just bounce different things off of them, like me and Chris Lawson, the basketball coach, like we'll just talk about, different things all the time, like different, really like coaching strategies, less X's and O's, but more like, hey, I noticed this with this kid, and or whatever. And to have that in our athletics department is huge. There's no fight over, oh, this is my guy, it's not your guy. Like, no, like, basketball is going to be out there. The basketball coaches are going to be out there watching the basketball kids play football. And, when it gets to basketball season, I'm going to be out there watching them play basketball. And the same thing when they go play baseball. And, and Addison's there when we're playing football, watching the baseball guys play football. It's one of those things where us all working together is just going to make all of us better. And, I think the athletics program as a whole just continues to improve. And, I'm really excited about the future.
That's the Middle Tennessee Christian School Athletic Community Coach. You're a big part of it. We appreciate your time. Wish you the best of luck, and we're happy to have you on Cougar Corner always.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.